Spouse. I don't care, Lorenzo. I gotta tell. Why is it every time I do that shit, I go live, my screen goes away? Now I gotta find it all over again. This shit is so fucking irritating. I'll just stick with this one. It never fails. Every fucking time I hit the thing. I'm just, nope, I don't like you today. That sounds like my son outside. Somebody keeps sending me a request. I'm gonna stop sending me that shit. I'm not gonna request you. I don't even know who the fuck you is. G Herbo is the boss. Yeah, I'm just waiting to see who all showing up. Here, let me share this shit. Has anybody talked to Sleepy? I ain't seen Sleepy in a minute. Ah. No. Nobody heard from Sleepy. Hey, I gotta tell y'all something too. Y'all remember when I said those two dudes wanted to talk to me about their hey, what's up, love? Um, I'm talking to my wife. You remember the Mexican cat I used to work with? And we saw him at the Walmart a couple years ago, and he was supposed to set up the religious talk a couple Saturdays ago, and then they had to reschedule. I've been hitting him up, and he ain't respond. I just found out he got hit on his motorcycle, and he in a coma right now. So that's why he ain't respond. And everybody's praying for him to wake up. I didn't even know that. I found out on Facebook. I hit up the homie. I was like, what happened to him? And he told me. So that's why we ain't do the thing on Saturday. Because he got hit by a car on Friday. I ain't even know. Nobody told me shit. Jake should have told me something. That's fucked up. Yeah, I want to talk to y'all about this language. Let me move this cord. Because I keep seeing a certain individual keep trying to make this correlation between Egypt and America. And I keep saying the same thing. If you're not going back to the Heretic, the Demonic, or the Coptic to find out what the name of these places are, then you can't come to America and look at the Greek words for Egypt and be like, oh, I see Egypt over here because it says Egypt. You're seeing Greek words over here in America because it was brought over here by foreign people. Like the Spaniard. Or the fucking the British. Or the people in France. Wasn't Champollion French? Let me see. I think he was French. Ah. He is from telling me. Yep, he was from France. I knew it. He was from France. So, if you're taking, yeah, I didn't. Yeah, you're right. He's from France. So if you taking the person who's translating it, even though he didn't translate all of the alphabet, no, I couldn't. Not at all. You translating it, it was another dude that was translating up the phonemes before him. Oh, I forgot his name. And I'm not worried about it. This is about the language. You gotta tie the names back to the ancient language. If you're not going back and seeing what it was in the Medu Neter, then you can apply the words you see over here in America to the language that we no longer speak. So if you see that the Egyptians, the Kemetic people, call Memphis, that they call Egypt, that they call the Nile Valley, or are those foreign names given it to them from people who was deciphering their language. So then, after you do the language, you got to go to the culture and the civilization. Because when you're breaking down language should intertwine with other languages that's around the same area. You can go into Africa right now, and you can go to the Coptic, Heretic, and the Demotic, and you can see similarities in those writing styles and the words that they're using in other African languages. Like Hausa. You guys don't know that, huh? So you got to show me the correlation with the Heroic, the Demotic, and Coptic over here in America. You got to show me the correlation of the languages over here. So then, after you do that, now you got to bust down the statues, right? You got to bust down the statues. Because this is the claim, that they moved every single artifact that they found over to Africa. How they do that? What ships did they do it with? Where's the logs of them saying that we're moving everything we find in America over to Africa to make a new Egypt? Because y'all go to these ancient books, you go to the ancient books and y'all follow, well, in this book it says that I'm indigenous. So you got to go into those books that you're showing yourself to be indigenous in and bring the information to me. And be like, look, see here, it tells you in this book that they moved Egypt from America to Africa, and this is the person that did it. This is the boat that they did it on. These are the people that are responsible for excavating the stuff from our sites over to Africa in Egypt. Show me that. You just showing pictures. That's it. Let me see. Let me see if I can put that picture up. No, this ain't it. This ain't the one I want. I want the one that actually got the dude's name. You see that? You see his name? Flinders Petrie. Flinders Petrie is the guy. Hold on. Let me see if I got the other one. Nah, I don't got it on here. I thought I saved it. Let me go back to the one that says Flinders, though. Okay, look. The Sphinx in Memphis, Egyptian alabaster. Now, when they're saying Memphis, I want you guys to understand that they're talking about the Memphis in Egypt, not Memphis, Tennessee. Who found it? Flinders Petrie and Ernest Mackey. That's who found it. They found it in the summer of 1912. You see it? Its tail was protruding above the surface, but they didn't actually uncover it until the beginning of the summer of 1912. It was 8 meters, 4.25 meters wide. Its height is estimated to be over, its weight, is estimated to be over 80 tons. So you show me the boat that they used to move this 80-ton statue from America into Egypt without fucking it up. And then the other claim is because when they found it, the brother showed that it was surrounded by palm trees, and then it's another picture where it's like wheat or something around it, right? But when you go and you look at, let me see if I can bring that shit back up. Because it's probably not going to be in here because I was doing other shit. Yeah, it's not gonna be on here because I was in my bag doing other shit. Well, let me see if I even got it close to the chivalry. This it. Okay, I don't know if you guys can really see it, but if you look to the one on the right behind where the tail is, that's the same shit that he tried to say was over here in America. And then now you see, you got the stuff right behind the tail where the back of the leg is, the back of the statue, in the palm trees in the same picture. Yeah. So all he's doing is giving you false information on where the statue is coming from. And people are running, oh, this is great information, brother. I knew your information on point. He's a Google fucking scholar. I got this shit off Google. He ain't giving y'all no world-renowned knowledge. Nigga, show me this shit in the book. Show me it in the book. The indigenous community, they go to all these ancient books. But you keep pulling up pictures from Google. Show me this shit in one of your ancient books, bro. Show me it. If you can't show me it. And the reason why I come at you so hard, because I came into your live and I asked you a simple question. Why are you trying to go over there and talk to these people? You got mad, start calling me out my name. You a bitch ass nigga, you Uncle Tom. Really? Because I asked you a question? You up here spreading information. And you don't want people to ask you questions about your information? And then you try to use a quote from one of our master teachers. I don't debate. I only debate my equals. All others I teach. You can't teach me anything because you're not on my level, bro. You're not on my level at all. I called all of y'all out. I went into my homegirl's live and you motherfuckers was in her live. I called all y'all out. I gave y'all the time when I was going live. I said everybody's name individually. And the majority of the people's names I said was watching her live or they was in her guest box. None of y'all showed up. None of y'all showed up. It is what it is. So if you really could debunk me, you would have debunked me. You would have came into my own live and crushed my soul. You can't do it because everybody knows that Egypt didn't originate in America. You're just making false claims. You're a Google scholar.
Yeah.
You're not going up against the master teachers.
Amen.
I don't care about you saying you're indigenous. I could care less about that. My argument is that y'all trying, not even certain people are from y'all community is trying to push that Egypt was in America first. And then I got recent information from one of the homegirls that the oldest pyramid is in Brazil. I'm not debating that. I got more studies to do on that. But FYI, for all of y'all that don't know, they pushed the date back for Egypt. It's not 31, it's not 20, it's not 31 or 32. They pushed that shit all the way to 51. It might be between 51 and 52. They still going over the information. There are, what'd you say, explain the Grand Canyon, Egypt, they traveled to Arizona. Okay, now, again, I have a female that's in the comment section who lives in Arizona. You cannot go into the Grand Canyon and here in America and walk to Egypt. Or the river, whatever, because that shit's dried up anyway. There is no correlation. When people bring up, oh, they found Egyptian artifacts in the Grand Canyon. When you read all the studies, except for when you go to the satire websites, all the pure sources, not no edited article from a satire website that says, oh, look, it's Egyptian statues in the Grand Canyon. Because when we look and we find our actual articles, it says that all the artifacts that they found in the Grand Canyon were Asian, they were Asiatic in nature. And when you read an article, it said that they did not find no Egyptian artifacts. So like I said, y'all don't study enough. Y'all just see some shit and run with it. You don't outweigh the good and the bad. You just take some shit that fits your narrative and you run with it. Hey, look, TikTok. Look what I got. Get the fuck out of my face with that bullshit. Bring me some credible source. Bring me that straight fire. Come debunk the shit out of me. Y'all had your chance to debunk the shit out of me and none of y'all showed up. None of y'all showed up. And I'm not even the best person with the knowledge. I'm not even the best person with the knowledge. I had some of my own homeboys trying to come for me on this Egypt shit. I had to slay their ass and put them to rest. So you think I'm not gonna slay and put somebody to rest that's not on my team? The fuck I look like? They don't call me the TikTok bully for no reason. And again, I'm reiterating, I'm not coming at none of y'all that's indigenous, that are claiming you're indigenous. I'm coming after the indigenous people who are claiming that Egypt was in America first by using this picture that I'm showing you. So if you show me somebody, again, I'm gonna move my big ass head with my receding ass hairline, so y'all can see who found it. Who found it It says the New Kingdom Unearthed by William Matthew, Flinders Petrie, and Ernest Mackey. Those are the people who found this statue that one of y'all indigenous brothers likes to keep using to try to say, oh, they found this in America. Because it was made out of, what did he say? Alabama, alabaster, limestone or something. The same shit that they got over there in Africa. They got the same type of limestones over there in Africa that they do in America. So what the problem is? What the problem is? One more time. The pyramid, you talking about the base? The base of the pyramid in Peru is bigger. I give you that. But it's not bigger than the Pyramid of Giza. I'm sorry. That shit's high as shit. The base of the Peru pyramid might be bigger. That's it. But you talking about the whole structure? Nah, it's a wrap. You can get out of here with that shit. No, he said Alabama alabaster. He said Alabama and alabaster got the same meaning. I'm not saying it don't, because I ain't looked into that, and I don't care to look into that. All I'm saying is stop trying to take Egypt out of Africa and place it in America. Because if you're going to do that, then that means you got to take the whole Nile Valley civilization. That means you got to take all the artifacts. You got to take the tools. You got to take they day-to-day wear, they feed, their shoes, their clothing, the stuff that they eat, the stuff that they was tilling the land. Are you serious? Are you serious? You can't just take Egypt and place Egypt in America without taking the Nubians. Who was the first ruler to rule Egypt? Where did he come from? Where did the first ruler of Egypt come from? Don't worry, I'll wait. Where did the first ruler of Egypt come from? I don't care about, see, man, we've been lied to so much. I don't care if they lied to us. You gotta prove to me with y'all ancient books that y'all find that this statue was in America and that Egypt was in America first. I'm not doing, oh, they lied to us. You can't believe nothing that they say. They come out of their mouth. When y'all read their books, y'all do the same shit. Y'all believe the same shit that come out of their books. But when we do it, no, you can't believe what they're saying. You can't believe that. But when y'all read it, we can believe it. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. Again, what are the names? Give me the names of the cities here in America that were named. I want the names. Because if you say Egypt, if you're about to bring up Egypt, Cairo, that's Greek. Just like you didn't catch the beginning of the live. You got to go to the Horetic, the Demotic, and the Coptic, and you got to show me the names that they were calling these places, like Egypt, Abu Simbel. You got to show me those names and his original language over here first. Don't bring me the names that the Arabs and the Greeks were calling it. Because when you pull up the Nile Valley civilization on the map, let me go back to it so y'all can see what I'm talking about. No, this ain't it. This ain't it. Where's it at? I think this is it. You see those names? Oh shit, this is in the way. Some of those names are Arabic. No, y'all can't even see these. Hell, one of these it actually had the names to the whatchamacallit. It had the actual names. But as you can see, you see that LLL Cairo. Those are not the names that the ancient Egyptians gave to their land. Those were people who conquered the land, and that's what they named it. You got Tel El Yadai, Yuhadiah. That's not what they called it. I thought I had it on here, but I guess I don't. Yeah, I ain't got it on here. I thought I did. See that? You see that? What did it say? Hekapatah. You see that? Let me see if I change my thing, will it show up? You got to go up there and look. I can't see it because my thing is. You see those names? Do you see those names? So you got to show me these names here in America. You got to show me these names here in America. Don't bring me Cairo. Don't bring me Egypt. Don't bring me Abu Simbel, Saqqara. Don't bring me none of that shit. Find these names over here in the books. Like I said, y'all just show cute, colorful pictures. Then you give a little sob story. Oh, this was found in America. And then you get crushed on that shit. And then you make another video and saying, oh, first, no, you said it was made in America. So then you got crushed on that shit. Then you said, oh, it was made in America, and then they moved it over there because it was made from a different stone, and they got the same stones over there in Africa. The exact same. So what the problem is? If they're moving all this shit, you mean to tell me they moved the pyramids? They moved the Tekken? They moved the Tekkens without breaking them. And they didn't have the equipment to move the Tekken. Matter of fact, they had to break one Tekken up in pieces to move it. Bro, they had to take the stone, the Tekken, and break it up in pieces. When Champollion went in there, and I think he went in there and he didn't have authorization to take the stuff. That's why when you look, it says plate 30, plate 33, plate 13. He had to break everything up. He had to bring it up into plates. He broke all the stuff up in plates and moved it out of there. That's what happened. He broke the stuff up in plates and moved it. So now you got to show me in the ancient time. And I'm not talking about the Romans. I'm not dealing with the Romans right now. We're dealing with the French. We're dealing with the Spaniards and English, the Brits. What ships did they have that was strong enough to move the Tekken, the statues, and the slabs that they use for the pyramids? So now, even after we doing that, you mean to tell me that they moved all the bodies from America into Africa? And if they're doing that, you're gonna have people. Now remember, this is during the time of Egyptomania. If you guys don't know what Egyptomania is, look it up. You don't think that some people would have been smuggling those bodies out of America? They were bringing the bodies from Egypt into America to eat them. They was making soup. They was baking the bodies. They would have just did that here. They would have just took them from America. There wouldn't have been no need to travel over to Egypt, bring them over here. Matter of fact, everybody would have been in a rush to come over here. It wouldn't have been called Egyptology. It would have been called Ameriology. Right? Right. That when it came up with, oh, we're going to call it Egyptology because it's the study of Egypt. So you mean to tell me they spent millions upon millions of millions of dollars to move all these artifacts from America over there into Egypt. So now you got to move the artifacts that's over there in Egypt, from America in Egypt into Nubia. Right? And now you got certain African cultures, civilizations, they got the same type of artifacts as over in Egypt. So now let me move this one, and let me go to the other one that shows you. I don't want that one. I don't want that one. Where's it at? Where are you at? Let me see. If I blow this up? Okay, look. You see that? Look at the Sinai. You see the Sinai? So now up here at the top of y'all phones, what does that say? I think that says Jerusalem. They found Egyptian artifacts all the way up in there. I don't know if I can't pull my phone over so y'all can see. They found artifacts. They found Egyptian artifacts all the way up in Canaan. So now you're telling me that not only are you placing Egyptian artifacts in Nubia, in the New Egypt, in the Sinai, now in the Canaan. Who's doing that? That's going to take too much money, and that's a hell of a longer process. You got to change the king's list also. So now you got to show me the king list of the Egyptians over here in America. Show me it. Give me one. They got like 3 or 4. No, I think it's more than 4 kings lists over in Egypt right now. They show you who they were interacting with. So now you got to come to America. You got to come to America, and you got to show me that since Egypt started in America, who were they interacting with? What tribes were they interacting with? What tribes were they warring with? What tribes did they go to war with? Who were their vassal kingdoms? Where's this evidence at? Where's the structure? Where's the stone? Where's the carvings at? In mountains. Where's it at? You have no evidence. But y'all just like to say shit and people run with it like it's real. Oh, the earth speaks. This stuff is real. Man, this is an amazing job that you're doing. Oh my God, you're killing that right now, bro. Then y'all want to play with, look at the Egyptian animals. They're over here in America. And then we look this shit up and we don't find that. Y'all just going off what the Greeks were calling them. What the Arabs was calling them. Oh, look, that's the jackal head. Is it called the jackal head in the Medu Neter? Huh? Oh, what about, did you talking about the dog? The dog over there in Egypt? It's similar to a dog that they have over here in America, but the name of the dog is called what? Matter of fact, there's more than one dog, and they look similar. The Pharaoh hound. Oh, God. Oh, my God. You know what? Oh, the falcon? Yeah, the falcon. The falcon's over there, and it's indigenous to Egypt. I'm sorry. Or should I just say Africa? Because when you look it up, that's what it says. It's indigenous to Asia, Egypt, and Africa. Don't say shit about America. Y'all just make up shit and run with it. And people believe everything that's coming out of your mouth. Leave Egypt where it's at. I don't care who's ruling it. I don't care who's claiming that they come from there. Leave it where it's at. Leave it there. Leave it there. Egypt was in America. Okay, well, Egypt was in America, but you still don't know where the first ruler of Egypt came from. Did he come from Egypt, or did he come from the south where the Nubians is kicking it? They call him the Scorpion King, also known as what? Narmer. Narmer's whole lineage just comes from Nubia. So like I said, if you're going to take Egypt, then you got to take Nubia that comes with it. That's the facts. But you just want Egypt. You want Egypt so bad. I got to take Egypt. Oh, the Brazil pyramid is 3000 BC. Okay, well, they just pushed the date back to Egypt. They just pushed the date back to 5152. So now what you going to say? Show me the books. Give me the books. Give me the ancient books from the 15, 16, 1700s that says Egypt is in America. Because all you're going to find is where it says Egypto-America. And it's going to say Egypt in America. And it's not talking about North. It's talking about South America. I'm telling you, man. Like I said, all of this shit would have been avoided if he would have just came and let me ask my question. But that's what it is. See, he done came on my platform like 5 times. He get disrespectful. I ain't block him. We might kick him and then he able to come back. Because he get hella disrespectful. I asked one question and he just came at me. When he come over here, he get disrespectful for like 10 minutes. And then he don't want to let nobody else talk. We be talking about it because this is what happens. This always happens when I start talking to indigenous people. The indigenous African American. We start talking about one subject. And then we ask questions about that subject. Then they go to a whole different subject. No, let's stick to this subject. Well, how do you know they're telling you the truth? They could be lying to you. Bro, you reading books. The books could be lying to you about your information. Right? No, they don't want to hear. Then they want to play with genetics. They want to play with the genetics and DNA when it suits their narrative. But when we bring it up, you can't use that. You can't figure out where you come from by using genetics and DNA, but y'all play with it. The same people that y'all keep playing with the DNA are the same people that are coming out with the genetic makeup of people and where they migrated from. So if we can't play with the genetics, then you can't go and play with people's DNA to prove who they are. Like I said, you want the DNA and genetics to fit the narrative when you want to use it. But when we use it, you can't use that. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. And I don't care where you come from. I don't care what you're claiming. Only thing I care about is all those who are trying to take Egypt out of Africa. That's it. You leave Egypt alone, I ain't got no problem with you. But just know, when I'm over here kicking it with my buddies, if I'm over here kicking it with my buddies, and we having a good old time, and we start like poking jabs at the indigenous African American community, don't get in your fucking feelings. Because I go to y'all lives, I watch y'all lives all the time, and y'all talk shit about Africans all day, every day. But as soon as somebody that the descendant from Africa do it, y'all, oh, you hurt my feelings. Why are you talking stuff about the indigenous African American community? Bro, y'all start the shit. And I'm a bully. I'm a big bully. I can talk shit with the best of them. And I used to wanted to be a comedian. So you already know I can go on my back any day of the week. It's nothing. I love the confrontation. I invite it into my life. I bask in it. The only time I won't invite it into my life is if my wife tells me to stand down. When my wife tells me to stand down, y'all won't get the bully. She ain't tell me that. So guess what? Until she do, y'all gonna get the bully. Leave Africa. Bro, you say you want all the smoke, then when we go on Bigo, you act like you can't get up there, bro. And look, this is how it is. Everybody says they want the smoke. But when I tell people to go to Bigo, the only person who ever shows up is Kenya. Kenya brings the smoke. Me and her don't get along on all the subjects, but she brings the smoke. It don't matter if she's wrong or not. She's bringing the smoke. Ain't nobody else doing that. Nobody else is doing that. Well, whoever that was, they left. Again, what's his name? King, when did I claim Egypt? When did I claim it, bro? I said what? Keep Egypt where it's at. Where's Egypt at? It's in Africa. I said, I don't care who rules the land. I don't care who's in the land. Leave it where it's at. It ain't in America. It's in Africa. When was the Middle East created? Because when you go to ancient maps, there is no Middle East. It's all Africa. The colonizer made it in the Middle East to take majority of the African countries out of Africa. And you should know this, right? Right. Like I said, y'all get up here, y'all say shit in the comments like you're not talking to a motherfucker that know shit about Africa. Stop the shit, bro. You know who created the Middle East? You know in ancient maps it don't say no Middle East. It says it's all Africa. And if you want to keep going, we can go all the way to where Africa went all the way up into Asia and the southern part of Europe. Stop playing with me, bro. I'm not the one. I am not the one. They found Egyptian artifacts all the way in Cyprus, Crete. What you talking about? What you talking about? What you talking about? The Minoan civilization. Come on, bro. You got to do better than that. You're not ready. You're young. Leave Egypt where it's at. Leave Egypt where it's at. It ain't in America. Just leave it. I have no problem with you. I don't care who's indigenous. I don't give a shit about none of that. You can be whatever you want to be. But when you start trying to move shit to other places and you ain't got no evidence to back this shit up, you got a picture. Let me go back to the picture one more time. Doo-doo, doo-doo. Is that the one I want? Y'all can't see it. Hold on. There you go. There you go. There you go. You see it? When was it found? All right. It never was found in America. Wasn't found in America at all. Found that shit over there in Egypt. Leave Egypt where it's at. Go out to some other stuff. Why don't y'all mess with Sumer? Go after Sumer. Say, oh yeah, the Sumerians was over here in America first. Say that. Leave Africa alone. I mean Egypt alone. They're not fucking with us. Egypt ain't fucking with us. They're not saying, oh, we come from America. Yep, that's right. Egyptian civilization started in America. They're not saying that shit. I know, bro. I know that. You go tell that to the Earth Speaks. You go tell him that shit. You ain't bringing Egypt no money. They not fucking with you, bro. And that they regurgitate the same information. Oh, other animals over there in Egypt, they can be found here in America. Then we look the shit up and it ain't real. And they just dismiss it. You can't believe nothing that they say. Oh, stop talking to me. If we're going argument point to argument point, and I'm debunking your information, you can't be like, oh, well, everything you said, it doesn't count because you can't believe everything that they say. I can say the same shit to you. That's because my information is real. Why is your information real? Because I got it from an ancient book. Well, you know, ancient books can be tampered with, and just because you got an ancient book doesn't mean that information is valid now, because information changed throughout time. That's not true. Come on, man. Stop it. Does math change over time? Does it? Did fractions always exist? Did fractions always exist? It went from adding, subtracting. Did they always have decimal points? Did every civilization know about pi? But just like language, does language change over time? Does the English we speak in America sound like the same English they speak over there in England? No. Like they just want everything to stay the same. Everything to stay the same. That's all it is. It's like who can come out with the most pseudo information and get the most followers. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. People watch my lives. I might have, when I did my whole Exodus, my Exodus. I broke down the chronology of the pharaohs. I broke down why the Exodus couldn't happen with the time they said it could. They did. I have 14 people watching me. The entire live. 14 people. Again, bro, what weapons did the Mayan civilization have? Did they have iron weapons? Did they have chariots? Did the Mayans have pyramids? Oh, they had everything. Okay, well, you need to go read up on the Mayans, bro. If the Mayans had this so-called great civilization, when they found their pyramids, they wouldn't have to reconstruct them. Show me a pyramid in Egypt that had to be reconstructed because it failed, because it imploded on itself. Don't worry, I'll wait.
guy is confused. I think he's thinking that you're one of the people who think that Egypt has something to do with America, and that, like, I think he's getting it wrong. He sees like a black face, I guess, and he's thinking that you're talking like them. What Sutan is talking about is against them. So I think that's the confusion from this king guy.
I don't know who them is. I'm talking to one. It might sound like I'm talking about a lot of them. I'm talking about one dude. One. But since he's part of that community, yeah, I shouldn't even be lumping them up into everything. Because some of them is my homies. Like, I'm cool with them on TikTok. I'm not beefing with them right now. I'm just beefing with him. Because he's
But
pushing out false information on
yes,
each.
but more than just him says that stuff that you're talking about. So all I'm saying is,
I've never heard anyone but him.
but what
So
I'm saying,
when I see them say that shit, then I'm gonna go at them. And this is because they in here. I seen some of them pull up. If I
Susan,
hear
I'm
y'all
saying that
talking about, hold on, let me get it out. Then I'm gonna let you take it over. If I hear y'all saying that Egypt is in America, I'm gonna come at y'all like I'm coming at him. I don't give a fuck.
okay, Susan, I'm just clarifying this king guy he is thinking that you believe Egypt is in America, or that you believe Egypt is West African. He's coming from a different direction. And so I'm trying to clarify the direction so that he stops typing silly stuff. He's thinking you think the stuff that you're talking about that you don't think is true.
And he not listening then. All
The
I'm
Mayans
saying is, go ahead.
the Mayans had a great civilization. Nobody's arguing about that. Like he's just, I guess he's really not hearing what you're saying.
But he tried to say that the Mayan civilization was greater than Egypt, bro. 90% of the museums in the world are filled up with Egyptian artifacts. Egypt has more artifacts in all the museums than any other civilization. What the fuck you talking about?
This guy, he's not understanding. Egypt is African. What are y'all talking about? That's what we're talking about. That's a king. We're saying what you're saying pretty much. You keep saying different stuff that Susan doesn't agree with, but it starts with Egypt is in Africa. That's what we're talking about. And one dude saying this, and he's addressing what the dude has said. You're arguing points that aren't being made right now. Okay. You just can't hear, King. I came up so I can clarify for you, but I don't think you can hear. We know Egypt has nothing to do with the Mayans. That's the argument. That's what we're saying. We know everything you're
He
saying.
brought the Mayans up first. I don't get it. The dude is all over the place, man.
I tried to clarify it, but I guess people just don't hear. That's all I came up to do. Continue.
Like, I don't have a problem with the indigenous people that are the black people that are indigenous. But if y'all gonna sit here, because I only seen one person do it, but if all y'all in agreement with this man that's pushing this agenda, then all y'all can get the smoke too. It doesn't matter. I mean, we can get off this app, or we can go to Bigo, and we all can get it in. I don't agree with it. I don't agree with nothing he's saying when it comes to Egypt. Now he might have some cool little points on other stuff. I'm not knocking that. Because I think he might have something with the Utah and the Ptah. I think there's something there. But I'm not going to just jump ship and move Egypt from one place to another place, and you ain't giving me that much information to go on.
That seems to be a problem now. It is like you get popular by just saying the most outlandish stuff, and then if somebody has questions about your claims, then instead of giving answers, they just get upset. So that's another belief system.
I let everybody on my platform. We be up here arguing till the cows come home, and then Mo has to step in and try to get order. That's what always happens. He's like, no, let him. He be like, just let him soon. Let him get it out. Let him. He just keep grumbling, so no one can get their information out. He just wants to get all his talking points out. because he don't want us to challenge. And it don't matter what dude we bring up here. That always happens. The dude has to overtalk everybody to get his information out. Then they go to the insults. Then they get mad. But you're laughing at me. I laugh at everybody that come up here. My friends be up here and they say stuff and I laugh. That don't mean that I don't agree with what they're saying. I just laugh because they said something that was funny to me. There's a lot of stuff that Seven says that it might be cool and it could be actually be real. But when he says it at the time that he's saying it, it's funny as shit because I don't expect it to come from his mouth.
That happens to me.
That don't mean he's not right.
Yeah.
But they be over there, they kick it with each other. That's cool. Y'all can kick it with each other. Then y'all start bad-mouthing everybody. But as soon as somebody start bad-mouthing y'all, you guys attacked me. Okay, well, I'll stick up for my family any day. If you talk about the Africans, I'm a descendant of the African. So now you talking about my family. So don't get mad when I start talking about you. Don't get in your feelings. Bring the same heat you brought when you was talking shit about my family. I'm not finna, I apologize for talking about you and saying this stuff. No, because you don't apologize for talking shit about my family. I'm not going to apologize for talking shit about your family. What the fuck I look like? Like I'm not trying to go and debate indigenous talking points and them trying to prove that they're in native to this land. They're the first people here. I don't care about that. They care about that. Because whenever we get up here and we start talking about us being from Africa, here come one of them. What makes you guys think that you're from Africa? Why do you believe everything that they say? We wasn't even talking about y'all. We was talking about us. Then y'all come in, it's like y'all try to force us to be indigenous African Americans. Oh.
The reason why I think it's kind of becoming more like a belief system than anything, because even if you're not talking anything related to their claims, like I think Kenya brought up the example. I was talking in another live about the part of the Yoruba tradition. I was telling them about their science and their stories for what creation was. That's what I was talking about. And then what she heard, because she said it back to me yesterday, what she heard was that I practice voodoo and blah blah blah. So I'm like, and I'm trying to say that we're Africans, all of us as Africans, from me telling a story about the Yoruba system. So I don't know. I think it's a belief system, because you could say something unrelated about Africa and then they'll say, I'm not African and da da da. I didn't say anything about your genealogy. I don't know you.
But some of them, they cool people, but I'm cool on that. You can't move an entire civilization that came from another civilization. So now you got to take the civilization that it came from. You got to take the whole Nile Valley out of the Nile Valley and put it in America. Then you got to show me how they came from America first, and then they got over there. And you can't be like Pangea, because when you line up the Pangea model, are the lands moving away from each other, or are they moving close to each other? That's what I want to know. Because when you look at the map, when you look at all the continents, you can see how they kind of fit like puzzle pieces. So you're going to take South America, you're going to slap that on the west coast of Africa, right? So now we got pyramids. You got pyramids on the west coast of Africa, on the east part of South America. And you got pyramids on the northeast corner of Africa. So show me how they got from the west coast to the east coast without them making pyramids in the middle of Africa. Show me that. Oh, I don't get it at all. I don't get it. I don't get it. It sounds cool when you come out with a TikTok video and you giving people what you think is facts, right? And then The people that don't know that much, they've been following you, and they don't study your information. When I get up here and I tell y'all, I show y'all shit like this, right? I don't just talk, I show you it. And then majority of the time when I go live, I got the article, I got the person who wrote the article, I got the website you can go to. I don't just say shit out of my mouth. So you guys can't go and look up the information. I'm not doing that.
What's good, big bro?
What up?
Ain't much, bro. I see you doing your thing. I can respect it. You know what I'm saying? Gotta show my support. Give you your flowers while you're here. Definitely appreciate this, man. A lot of people not trying to like tap into this. And this is just the truth. People are trying to run away from the truth. People scared of it.
Now, don't get me wrong. I think the brother has some good information. But I don't care about that right now. I care about us moving one particular civilization to another part of a civilization, and these other civilizations don't know nothing about them at the time. We talking about dynasties. You got to go all the way to BC time where these people was doing their thing. So now you got to show me these writing systems. I can't get past these writing systems, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you go to early civilizations in the writing system, Egypt ain't even on the map. You can take Egypt off the map with the earlier writing when it comes to language. Because we all know Nubia is older than them.
Well, doesn't Egypt only actually truly mean like the land of slavery? Like,
I don't know what that's if that's what they wanted to mean, that's what they wanted to mean. But Egypt is a Greek word. So if they find Egypt over here in America, that's a Greek word. It has nothing to do with the Kemites who were originally ruling the land.
well, no, yeah, like it's proven. Like they noticed, but they don't. They hire. It's like I don't know if you probably clearly know, but they hire people and they pay people to literally misinform everybody, and it's a fact, and you can look this up. But they actually pay more money to disinform than to do anything. They pay more money on disinformation than they do the military, and they spend a lot of money on the military. So why go out of their way to try to lead us off? Like, you know what I'm saying? To lead us astray.
Lead us astray into what?
It's like right now we're in the phase where it's like we all want to be accepted, right? Everybody wants to be accepted because
Hold on. You can Coptic Crusader, you can come up. His daddy's an archaeologist in Egypt. He was an archaeologist in Egypt.
I needed him on Bigo yesterday.
He'd be the perfect person to talk about this topic.
Oh, he said he's banned. Does anybody have does anybody have an account? Because he needs to be talking about this.
I mean, I mean, I don't know who you're talking about, but yeah, definitely out of money. But what I've learned is like when you talk about language and stuff.
Download the Bigo app, and we can do it tomorrow.
I got the app definitely, so I'll definitely look you up on there. But yeah, I feel like, bro, like language is one of the biggest. Like, it tells you all the truth, but we don't know how to use the languages. We don't understand like the root words and the etymologies behind words and the real meaning and truths behind each sound that we make with our mouth. And I think a lot of things play in effect. Like everything is all like a domino. Everything matters. Everything has a purpose. And if we don't know, it's like if we can figure out our language, we can at least understand what everything was meant and designed for in the older days. We can understand every other language because I found out like certain sounds, like for instance, like when I'm saying when I say dyslexia, right? We think like we understand dyslexia as how we understand it, right? But if you actually look at the way that word is actually made up, it's a compound word of 3 words: dis, lex, and ya. You know what I'm saying? So if you look at that, you will understand that to diss something is to go against something. Everybody knows, like you could diss somebody. or if you feel disappointed or you're disgusted, it has a negative meaning toward it. Dis is like bad or like negative. Then you got lex. Lex is actually law. If you look at the in Latin and shit, like all these words mean something. Law. And then Yah, we all know Yah is God, right? So dyslexia is going against the law of God. So we call somebody that reads or that can't understand the way that these languages is wording their words, or the way they call it, they say they spell their words. We call that dyslexia, but in reality, the way we live in life is dyslexic. We live life against the law of God, against the law of nature, against the true law of the universe. So we're really the dyslexic ones, and the people who are actually like having trouble aren't the dyslexic ones. We just phrasing them as something that we think because we like being told by
What
our
you
enemies.
talking about?
You said what I'm talking about?
No, I'm talking to my brother in the chat.
Oh, my fault. Yeah, I think like if we use our words a lot better though, or at least understand them, we'll be able to use them a lot better. And then if you know, then you know. But law of attraction is a thing, and the things you say can attract the things that you want or don't want. So if we're using these words out of context and we don't know the true context or the true meaning of these words, we just
No,
call
what I'm simply saying is this: language changes through time. You got certain African languages, right? You might have a main language, and then it breaks down into 3 different languages. So if you go into America, you got certain tribes that speak different languages. Out of those tribes that speak different languages, where's the root language at?
well, like you're talking about out of the tribes that was in America.
Yes.
Well, the root language, like it sounds like this shit sounds so like stupid, right? It should sound so stupid that it doesn't sound like this shit is true, right? But this shit is it might be the most truest thing that I've found. But what I found out is that, right, I have no 100% proof on where the language is and what was the languages being spoken over here. But the evidence that I do got is crazy, right? So, for instance, before they came over here, right, they didn't even say grand, right? Like in grandparents and grandma and granddad and shit. They didn't say certain things. They didn't say certain words. So they got a lot of phrases from America, right? Once they started coming to America. Then if you look at the research, you'll find out that like they say English is based off of German, right? Or is a Germanic language. But Germany only got their language like 100 years ago. Russian was
All that
actually
derives from the Latin language. What
yeah,
up, bro?
yeah. The Pope, you feel me, used Latin because it was already the language being used by the masses, and we were the
Thank you
masses.
for bringing
So
that back.
the Pope used Latin because he chose the first Pope from Aragon chose to use Latin because the masses were using Latin, and that was the language
Yeah,
that he had to use.
that's how you reach the people. Whatever language the people are speaking in, that's how you want to get your point out. That's why
Facts,
you get people translating stuff into different languages.
facts.
If I
So
let's say we get a brother on this panel and he started talking to us in Swahili, we're not gonna know what he's saying. We're gonna say, brother, can you like I got a homeboy named Hebrew. Hebrew, we got a whole different set of languages, right? But sometimes he starts speaking in his native tongue. We're like, brother, you gotta speak in English because we don't understand what you're saying.
right, you see, but look. You see how you just made that point? You see how you just made that point? You have to speak in English because we don't understand you. You, in order to take over people or to convince the people into following you, you have to speak their language. This is our language. They stole our language. If you actually look at the ancient, like the way our buildings are set up, right? The buildings that they say that were already here, right? The words that were already on them, they're in English. This is all our language.
What?
It wasn't
Hold on.
called English.
Wait, I think we're getting off topic. What buildings you talking about?
I mean, like for instance, like the Smithsonian Museum, right? In the
Mhm.
Smithsonian Museum is a ton of buildings, right? And in every building it tells you when the building was dated, like when it was made. It tells you, it has the name on the shit and all that shit, right? So if you look at the research and the history of that building, of those buildings or whatever, you will realize that those buildings were already here. They've been here. They was in that ground before these people even settled to America, right? So the languages was already engraved into these buildings. We wouldn't understand their language.
I don't know
They,
about
they
that.
had the.
That's
I know that's why I said this shit sounds so stupid. It doesn't even make sense. But this shit is like I can't. I don't have the 100% proof to show you what I'm talking about. But it's like, yo, the evidence is leading that they took our language and they manipulated it to benefit them because it was a language that we was already speaking. There's a reason why like different people, different like ethnicities, they all got their own language they could speak, and we don't understand them. But everybody knows our language. Everybody knows what we speaking. We don't know anybody's language. They say, oh, they robbed us from our language. Well, how do they rob us from our language and they don't use it? In order to steal something, I mean, I take it from you, and I
no,
take it and I own it, and I make it something that's
you can
mine.
stop people from using it altogether. You gotta
No,
understand when some of us came over, I'm not gonna say y'all, when some of us came over here off the boats, right? They didn't want us talking to each other because we started rebellion. So they stripped our names, they stripped our language, so they made us talk so they could understand what we were talking about. Because you had slave revolts, and the reason why you had some of these slave revolts when they first started bringing some of us over here, because we were talking to each other in our dialects. Because when you go over there to that continent of Africa, you got people over there that speak 3 to 7 different languages. And we speak 3 to 7 different languages, and if I can talk to you in my fifth language, and then you understand what I'm saying from because it's your fourth language, then we're like, hey, when they go to sleep, we're gonna get them. We could be just like when you go into a Mexican, you go to the Mexican side of the hood, right? Or you go
Mm-hmm.
into a Mexican grocery store. You don't understand what they're saying. They could be talking trash about you the whole time, smiling in your face.
Mm-hmm.
They can wave
But
at you and be
but the
calling you
thing
all
is
types of
though,
names, and you just wave
you
back.
know why
That's
this,
exactly what was
the
going on.
Spanish speak. Think about this, bro. You know why the Spanish speak Spanish. People that speak Spanish is because the conquistadors with the Spaniards, right? So that's why they speak Spanish, right? They say that we speak English because of England and Britain, right? That's false. That doesn't even make sense. Canada has what the Queen was on Canada's money is still like what the UK is like the sovereign for Canada, and the language that they speak is a mixture of English and French. Why? Because it was a French territory before. England got through on some sneaky shit. New York was one of the first, like, was one of the biggest like cities, and always kind of still is kind of right. But New York was bought by the Dutch. I found out that the Dutch was the Germans. So the Germans bought the U.S. The Germans been. That's why a lot of the Amish is here. Those are all Germans. There's all German community, right? So most of the white people that have been over here have been Germans this whole time, and we didn't even notice the shit. So how could these people be like? Because if they was come really invading us, we would be speaking German. We would be speaking French. We would be speaking different languages. We speak only English. And
That's
granted,
not
like we
true.
all have a.
Can I interject? Because the first thing that you stated was German is only 100 years old, the language. It's not. Their proto language is like from 2000 BC. The Britannica talks about this, but that's just their proto language. The reason why you may think it's only 100 years old is because out of all the European languages, it's called the youngest language, and it is. So that's the first thing that you said that was misinformed. The thing about the Germans actually being the people who owned America and why do we only speak English? Well, there was a parts of America or what we call the United States that were run by the French and they have Creole French languages, so there is some truth to the fact the reason why we speak English is because of our interaction with the English. But the national languages here, we don't have one. It could be anyone. And when the United States became the power it became, English became a language in other countries because it was easy for everybody else to speak English and do business here. So you're missing a couple of different steps and then equating it to something else. So Canada, they speak English not because they were ruled by England. They speak it because it's smart for them. They live above the United States of America and we do business amongst each other. So they choose that language for the most part for that reason.
So not saying like, because I don't like, I try to like say things without like putting people down when it comes to stuff like this, because I don't like when people do that to me. So I get what you're saying though. I'm not saying that this can be 100% proven. What I'm saying is the because clearly it wasn't English. Clearly we wasn't speaking English because that wasn't like a language. You get what I'm saying? English became a language later on. But what I'm saying is the words and the lettering that we use and like the phrases and the ways that we formed our tongue to sound these words out was the same way we doing them nowadays. The same exact
Yeah.
way. I feel like.
Yes, so everybody here in the States, regardless if you think you're more indigenous, whatever, these are not the tongue. This, what we're speaking now is not what those people spoke before they came across people who spoke English. Because it sounds like you're making the claim that like English was taken from us and then
Yeah,
we
that's what
give
I'm
it
making
back.
the claim as.
But you
Because
Okay,
mentioned
so
something about a lot of the white people that's here, a vast majority of them came from orphan trains, man. That was a part of the Irish and Germans. Those was kids that came over orphan trains by the droves on trains, man, by the hundreds of thousands. They partially repopulated the state with them kids.
they did.
Yeah, they repopulated the state with them kids, brainwashed them with the narrative that they wanted to have. And that's what we
Yeah.
got now.
Yeah, now we got people that think they're Americans, that they really Germans and Irish and shit. And this is what it's like confusion, bro. And what I'm saying pretty much is like this. This is the thing that connected it, right? With the
But
Latin,
don't
right?
get it mistaken. Them kids work in factories and fields. Them children worked. They them kids worked. Them kids worked like slaves.
No, yeah, for real. But
and they,
but the thing is though, look back to because I just want to like make this shit because she said something, so I want to just like make
can I
my
say
point.
something to what Vader said them real quick? And they know their origins too. It's not a big mystery. Like if you just figured out that Germans were here, the Irish were here, the Italians were here. If you just figured out like that they just came here, you just figured that out. They're not confused. They know their origins. That's why when you ask white people, where'd you guys come from? They'll tell you, my last name is Carson and I come from Scotland and my family came here as workers 200 years ago. They are not confused about their line at all.
Yeah, they know what's up, but it ain't even like my whole thing is language, right? Because I just wanted to fix pretty much fix the misunderstanding, right? So Latin is like a dead language now, right? And the reason why it's dead is because they don't want people speaking it. That was the language that the masses spoke at that time, right? That the
You can
Pope,
still speak.
that was the language that the masses spoke at that time to try to like, I mean, and the Pope chose to spoke to influence the masses, right? If you look at the way Latin is spelled, right, and the way Latin's words, Latin is uses the same words as English. I mean, letters as English, right? The same symbols. English has different symbols added on to it. That's what I said. They took our language and then they added it and added stuff to it and made it theirs. They took our Latin because Latin wasn't with a T. The T is a Greek letter for a D, so it would be Latin. That was our shit, Latin. So you got Latin, and then you got motherfucking. They took that shit and then they made all these different languages out of one language that was originally ours.
So is your hypothesis that can essentially spoke Latin
Yes.
and newer languages that you find Yoruba, Igbo, Twi, the newer languages that came after colonization? Is that your hypothesis?
No, it's not even about like the newer language because like language it develops every day through slang. Like you know what I'm saying? People make new words up every day, and that's how language like evolves and shit. It's just a natural process. But I'm saying the
That is
official language, the
wow.
official language of the masses was Latin at that time. And if
Okay.
they took that language and then all these languages ended up popping up like English, Spanish, French, German, all these languages popped up afterward, and then next thing you know, we don't have a language. We can't.
But
But then the only
Hold on,
language
wait.
that
You gotta define who we is. Who is we?
that's the question. Like, who is we?
us, the royal house of Judah.
Oh, I knew it. I knew something was fishy.
No, it's not fishy. It's nothing. It's nothing to be like. Ooh,
You know,
like
you a
Judah.
Hebrew
Judah was a
Israelite?
land, bro.
Oh
Judah's a
shit!
land.
This man stopped cooking and asked the question. Go
Nah,
ahead.
Judah. My fault, but
You
Judah's a land.
Go ahead, Antoine. I don't think he
you
heard
a
you.
Hebrew Israelite?
Yeah, I'm a Hebrew Israelite. Hebrew, but technically I'm not. Technically, I'm not a Hebrew because Hebrew means the ones who cross the river. I ain't crossed no river. I've been here my whole time, so
So you
I
still
can't.
believe in the faith? So you still believe in the Sky Daddy
Nah, I'm not believing.
then?
I'm done with that believing shit. I'm going off of like trying to figure this shit out, and only
So
reason
you
I'm saying
trying to
I'm
tell me that you know there's a Sky Daddy?
no. First of all, I'm not saying that I'm a religion. I'm in a religion, bro. You're asking me what am I like? I'm giving you my like heritage. You get what I'm saying, bro? Like ancestry and
I
shit like
mean,
that.
what I said was real clear and concise.
Yeah, you
When
said
you
Hebrew
subscribe,
Israelite, and I said I'm not a Hebrew because I didn't cross no waters. But yeah, I'm an
no, we
Israelite
got
because
past that. We got past that. I'm cool with that. I can
yeah,
give two shits about that. What I'm saying is that you still subscribe to a Sky Daddy.
no,
So you don't
You
subscribe to a Sky
you
Daddy.
sure we not
N-
How
related, Antoine?
no, I don't
You
subscribe
you
to
say
no
sound
what
like
now?
God,
an
no God.
Aryan
That
like me, bro.
in real Hebrew,
You say
bro, like
what?
in real Israelite teachings, like not them fake people that stand on the street, bro, and we be talking bullshit, bro. I'm talking about in
No,
real
that ain't
studies,
what I'm
bro.
saying.
If you
That ain't
really
what I'm
study,
saying.
bro, they even like it tells you like it's not about no like sky shit, bro. Like shit is there. Everything is in metaphors. It's up for you to understand it. It depends on how strong your mind is to interpretate this sacred knowledge that everybody's
So
not
you
supposed to
believe in a
understand.
Savior.
Huh?
So you believe there's a Savior.
I don't believe, bro.
So you
I
know there's a
know
Savior.
no,
Let me
I
rephrase
know
that.
that you can save yourself or you could wait and see if somebody else can save you. I know
I'm
that for a fact.
confused. So how can you be a Hebrew Israelite and still subscribe to believing in yourself and
Bro,
self?
I'm not, you don't understand. I'm not believing, bro. Believing is not knowing
I
something
said,
is
how
real,
do you
bro.
subscribe? I didn't say believe. I said, how do you subscribe to Hebrew Israelite? I didn't say believe. I
I
said, how do you subscribe to Hebrew Israelite and still have the know withal to say I believe in self or no self?
Israelites, not Israelis. Israelites, not the Hebrew Israelites. That little fucking gang that they got. That's the little cult shit. Israelites is a fucking people that had 13. Israel was a man that had 13 kids, and then they made a 13 people. From you feel me, those kids made people of their own. I am of one of those 13 people. I'm a
Have you ever
descendant of one of those 13 people, just like most of us are.
have you ever done research on any of these people? Like, have you literally done research to see if history could provide that they actually were there? That is an interesting thing to look into. You should look into that.
On life, I did, and I found out that it wasn't the people. The people actually stood for the land. So
So how
we
can you
thinking
say that when we was already here, even in biblical times?
because no, I'm not saying.
How
Listen.
can you be a
When they
Hebrew
saying when
Israelite
look,
when we was already here in America in biblical times?
America is Israel, right? Do the math, right? Like understand what I'm trying to explain. America was Israel. If you divided up America into 13 colonies, right? Then each of
I've
those
seen stuff about that
would be
before.
no, I'm saying like that was the analogy, bro. That's the
He's
whole
talking about
purpose.
the Daniel shit and the 13 kingdoms,
No,
bro.
I'm not talking about no cap shit, bro. I'm talking about like Because like even if you look at the definition of land, bro, land, you'll find out that we are actually a part of the definition of land, bro. So the part like is like it's fascinating, but we belong to a certain part of the land, bro. Like nigga, the shit was divided up in the kingdoms, right? Like you said, kingdoms
Oh,
or
wait,
fiefdoms or whatever you want to
what
call it,
kingdom you
territories,
talking about?
huh?
What kingdom you talking about?
Talking about the 13 tribes, right?
The 13 tribes. Who is this trying to come up here?
13 tribes of Israel. We all hear that story. The 13 tribes of Israel. We thinking these is men. It's breaking down everything. Israel is America. In America, there's 13 tribes. There's 13 sons. There's 13 fiefdoms, kingdoms, territories, whatever you want to call them. There's 13 sections, and they
Okay,
all got their name.
got that. So if Israel is America, so you telling me the stuff that happened in the Bible didn't happen?
I don't know what the fuck happened in the Bible. That shit is speculation. All I know is fucking the land. You get what
So
I'm
how is
saying?
it not speculation that America is Israel?
It
Where did
is.
you find any of this teaching? There's plenty of books from America from before the 1500. Where did any of these teachings come from?
It's
If you're
speculation,
not
bro.
basing it off the Bible, you said.
No, you said it's all
Your
speculation.
whole
No, I'm
your whole
I
thing
telling
is
you.
speculation.
I just want to know why people in like uh Syria at West or East Africa, basically what they call the Middle East now. Why would they be writing about a landmass that they had no clue probably that was there? Like that
They,
doesn't make sense.
they knew that this was here. The chems, the people from the Kemites, they said they was like talking about their homeland and where they was from, and they actually have like proof. But you can look it up on your own and find it out. Because I don't really got the actual proof in my hands to show you.
I'm,
But
I'm glad you keep saying that. But
But
so
you're
you're
bringing
That's
up the
what I'm
proof,
saying.
but you can't supply it.
yeah,
so
but I'm also letting you know that I don't got it right now. So I'm letting you know that you can look it up and don't believe anything that I gotta say.
When
I
you
could
got
be
no.
somebody even trying to mislead you.
you gonna say Tamerica, and Tameri is the same. That's how they knew about the.
Tamerica, right? The reason why it was called Tamerica, right, was because in Egypt, or what they would call Egypt, which is actually Kem, right? The Pharaoh was talking about a land. He wasn't saying the name of that land.
Brother,
He was giving
brother,
the title in a
brother,
reference to that
brother.
land, bro.
Listen, there was no pharaohs
No.
to ruling anything in Egypt. I don't know where
Bro,
people get this pharaoh stuff. Like
I'm
these
just
things.
wondering, what are these 13 names that control the whole world? Because there's a lot more than 13 countries alone in the Americas alone.
all right, so one, there
What are
definitely
these
was a
13 land
Pharaoh,
masses
right?
that you're talking about?
So hold on, like it's all in America, bro. It's not like 13 land masses. You're thinking like continents. You're thinking different. You get what I'm saying? I'm talking about the division, bro. It's a simple division, bro.
Okay, so where do the divisions happen? What is it like? What? Explain to me the 13, whatever you call them, in Americas.
Judah, the tribe of Judah, right? Judah, in translation, the J is actually a Y.
I understand all that. I understand your
Hold
your
on. Yeah,
meaning behind it, but
can you
like,
let me
what does it bring?
explain, bro? I'm gonna explain to you, please.
Go
I'm
ahead,
trying
go
not to
ahead,
be
go ahead.
too time consuming. But Judah, for instance, right? Judah is the J is a Y, the T and the D. So Judah is actually Utah, right? So if you look in the Bible, that's Utah. It's right there. Bam, you slap it on the map, right? We all know where Utah is, right? So boom, you put that there, right? Then you go and you can find Babylon, and then you can see
Okay.
Babylon. Where Babylon is actually at is actually New York in like the East Coast, like around that area, right?
Oh,
So boom, you
so
can
you
find that.
tell me you watch the YouTube where it says that Babylon is America
No,
back in the day.
no, I
Because
didn't watch no YouTube. I honestly
there's
only watch
no
NBA
there's
YoungBoy
no
on YouTube.
the place you're
Yeah.
talking about where you
No,
turn
hold
in
on.
the
Let him
J
finish. Let him
and the
finish.
Y.
He only got two.
Nah, but yeah, but so and then the river,
Go,
the Nile River, right? They say
go
that
ahead. You got New York and Utah.
hold on. They say the Great River. They say the Great River is and they tell you the dimensions. Like on one side of the Great River is X amount of land, and on the other side is this amount of land. Mississippi River is that Great River. That's the shit that flows. That's the only river that flows the other way, and that's the only river that if you, I mean, like the Nile that they say nowadays Egypt, and that same one we all know that these people, these These other motherfuckers that messed up the message probably had already then told you the comparisons on how they try to place the cities of Memphis
Okay,
and
but I'm still.
Cairo and
What
all
you
that.
only got Utah and New York. You're going off on the Nile,
No,
and the Mississippi
I'm
doesn't
going off
flow
of
the other way. It flows south.
yeah. Look. Memphis and all that,
That's the
right?
way all rivers flow.
But look,
Right.
You said Memphis and Cairo and what else?
Yeah, Memphis and all that stuff is right there, right? So if you
Did
look
you
at the
not read
Bible,
when did you get into the lie?
the lie.
Me about 10 minutes ago.
No, I'm
Oh.
talking about the other brother. Did
Oh.
the Egyptians, the Kemetic people, call Cairo?
Bro, I'm saying what we call nowadays Egypt and nowadays Cairo. Why is it that in America that shit is already there?
Because it was already in Cairo, Egypt.
Because it was already in Cairo, Egypt, and Cairo, Egypt was not over there in Chem. Cairo, Egypt was in America.
It doesn't have to go.
This is what I'm talking about. So
It
you
doesn't have
believe
to.
that
That makes
Egypt
no
was
sense.
in America first?
Right. It doesn't.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be in Kemet. It existed before
So
the
why-
so-called
Why
existed.
is it that you got up here beating around the bush? Why didn't you just leave with that? Because I've been debunking that shit since I got up here.
Oh, I don't know. I was just putting out points and shit, but and then they said, what did
You
they
still
said?
improved your point. You said New York and Utah. I still need
all right.
11 more.
All right. So I said Babylon, where Babylon was at, and then I said where Judah, the tribe or the land of Judah was at, right? And then you know where Egypt is at, right?
Yes, that's two.
So then they say that northeast or northeast or northwest? I think it's northeast from
I don't know. You're the one
Egypt.
saying the story.
It's northeast from Egypt is the tribe of Judah, is the land of Judah, the kingdom of Judah. So if you turn the map upside down, like compared to what we're looking at it now, you turn the USA, right? Just look at it upside down. You will see that where that shit is at, up and then right, northeast, motherfucking boom, Utah, right there. And if
Are you
go,
listening to yourself right now?
bro, I swear this shit sounds so crazy, bro. I swear I understand, bro. I dead ass understand.
You just told me. No, hold on. You just told me the land of Judah is Utah.
Yes.
That's west of Memphis.
Bro, understand this though. We are told.
How can it be east? The only thing east of Memphis is the ocean.
Bro, I'm trying to explain. Can I explain this then? The reason why we get told that we're told our direction because it's all proven that we was all supposed to be misdirected. They switched the directions around. They flipped the maps upside down to make you think differently. Like you don't understand.
When you say
okay,
we gotta believe,
I'm gonna give you one. My people have been on this land for documented over 4,000 years, right? And we've always known the North Star is north. The the storms come from the west. They go to the east. The rivers flow south. This is simple geography.
All right. I'm gonna give you a real life example, and this is some shit that I figured out.
Our people already
How
knew
you gonna
that.
flip it over?
No, we didn't even on some G shit. Right? Pull out your phone, right, and look at the GPS on your phone, right, and see where north is at. And then if you have an actual compass, if you go buy a compass, bro, and then see where north is at on the compass, you'll be shocked that them shits is in the opposite directions, bro.
Our people always knew that too. When we came here, I'm not including you if you don't claim to be a part of West African descendants, but we always knew that too. That's how we could run away. We saw the star and we did it. Nobody
Tell
could
them
lie.
Again. Say it louder.
Nobody could lie to us about about the directions. Not even if you give me
directions are the sun sets in the west. It does not set in the east.
Right, like it's always the same. It would a fake compass.
That's why you can take people outside of the wilderness. They can find their way.
Bro, understand. All right, so all right. This is the thing though. Like, out of all of those things that y'all saying is true, right? But how many of y'all actually pulled out a compass and got shocked by this shit? Like, and was confused. Why is like I'm living on the south side of town?
I've actually been. Okay.
And this shit is saying that I'm living on the north side of town. And then you know what I'm saying? Like this, I'm not saying like y'all wrong. I'm just saying like this is some shit that I go through. Like I pull out a compass, and then I see that the south side is actually the north side. So they actually lied to me.
I don't care.
So you had a faulty compass, and you became that people.
The point about Egypt.
Bro, how is it a false compass though? Compass like is simple to make. You could make compass with water and a leaf.
Who's talking?
So
So
you can prove to me without a shadow of a doubt that Egypt was in America first.
Yeah. And
Let's
then
go.
Egypt was also
Give,
moved.
give,
It's also in
give me
Smithsonian Museum
give
that
me it.
Egypt was actually moved to Kem. So they physically moved the structures from
Who
Egypt
said that?
from it's in the Smithsonian Museum, bro.
Where at?
In fucking the African building, bro. It's like they have buildings, they have sections. They have the Native
So you
American
don't
building.
really know. You
Bro,
just
no, bro. I'm trying to explain to you,
you
bro. There's
regurgitate
sections.
shit that other
Bro,
people
I'm
told
not
you.
even, bro. I'm being dead ass serious. It sounds like, bro,
Y'all
they in the
always
Smithsonian,
being that serious, just like thermonuclear dynamic.
bro. No, what are you? This shit is not rocket science, bro. This is simple shit, bro. When you go to to DC, bro, every building has its own shit. They got so much shit. Like they got the Native American shit. America has its own fucking building. Africa has its own fucking building. Europe has its own building. Everything has their own building. Every culture has their own building. That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
I asked you, you could prove to me without a shadow of a doubt that Egypt was in America first. You said
Bro,
yes. I said show me. You said one word. The
bro,
Smithsonian. That was it.
bro, understand
Hold
this,
on,
right?
well, I gotta
Understand
change
this.
my
Understand this, right? So
grid.
if understand this, right? So if Egypt, right, was and I told you the direction, right? And then clearly you can look at nowadays Egypt, and then you can see, all right, northeast is Israel, it's right there. So what? It's the same on this one. But if you actually flip the map upside down, like or how it's supposed to be, the natural way, then you will see that that shit is that shit is false. That's not true.
Okay, so
Like
why does it have to
my
be flipped
fucking.
to be natural? I don't understand your reasoning behind there.
It's not about
What,
being.
like,
It's
why do
not
you want
about.
the sun to set in the east?
It's not about me wanting the sun to set in the east. It's about you knowing the direction, like knowing where you live on. Like
That's what
my
you're doing. If
profile
you flip
picture.
the map over, you're telling everybody that, hey,
say what, baby?
Nah, I didn't
It's
flip the
crazy.
map, bro.
Bro, look, Jesus King. I don't fuck with Dan Calloway because he gives people pseudo information and he's been debunked numerous times. I don't fuck with the indigenous African American named Dan Calloway. He's a fake scholar.
Dang, that was
I
real.
debunked him, and I don't even do this shit.
I don't want to
who was
like
the
tell
lady
y'all to believe
came
me.
from
Just
space?
look it up and figure this shit out. Because if
No,
this shit
I
is,
asked you to show me proof without a reasonable doubt, and all you said was the Smithsonian. I've been up here for about an hour and a half giving people information about how Egypt was where it's at, always where it's at. I even gave the places that the Egypt come from. Egypt come from the Nubia, right? The Nubians come from the people in the Congo. You got the whole Nile Valley civilization. So show me how all these people who are correlating with this civilization, which is new, which is Egypt, came from America. And the only thing you said was the Smithsonian. You said you got irrefutable evidence.
bro, I said this. I
No
said
facts.
don't
What's
believe
happening?
me.
I didn't know you
I
was in
said
the
look
pot.
this shit up on your own, bro. This is all the things that I found, bro. I'm on TikTok live, bro. I'm not sitting here with
Okay,
a
and you
journal
said
of
all the
evidence.
things that I asked for more than one, and you just had the Smithsonian. Look it up.
Bro, I told you the directions, bro. The directions, and if
Well,
you even look it up in
hold
the
on.
Bible, if you look it up with the correlation in the Bible, it even tells you that that's the shit. The shit
I
makes
don't
sense,
believe in the Bible. It's fairy tale, bro.
bro. It's not about believing. It's what I'm trying to explain to you. It's about knowing that in a book, in the old tale, they told you that this land was called this,
So
and
you
this
go
land was
into the
called that.
Bible and you pick the things that fit your narrative. You don't follow the entire story of the Testaments. I got it,
Bro, it's
bro.
not about following, bro. I think people was falsely like led with this weird shit. Like, it's not about following somebody, bro. Who the fuck wants to be following somebody, bro? Like, we all,
You can find the kingdoms over here in America, but the people that's correlating with the stories that's interacting with the other people in Africa, you don't follow their stories. You just follow the kingdoms, right? Just so I'm clear.
bro. What are you talking about, bro? The people in Africa and the people in America are going through two different things, bro. Yeah, they're one and the
Listen,
same
listen
coin.
one more time because I don't think you caught it. The kingdom, right? The kingdoms that you're saying are over here in America, right?
Yeah.
The Bible is saying that they interacted with people over there in Africa and on the other side where Canaan is, right? In Mesopotamia, right?
Yep.
They're interacting with these people, right? They interacted with the Romans, right? So now we're taking all of them and we're placing them over here in America, right? You're putting the
I'm not doing that.
Assyrians,
I'm not
you're
doing
putting
that.
the
You're doing that.
Assyrians.
I'm saying this. I'm saying this, bro. I'm saying that the tribe of Judah was in America, bro. I'm saying that,
Again,
bro.
it's like I
You
say
have
shit and
no
you're
proof
not
of that.
listening to what I'm
Hey
saying.
guys, I'm gonna jump out. This is
Bro, my
getting
last
retarded.
name,
Like,
bro,
no
my
offense.
last name is Mazik, bro. My last name is Mazik,
This is
right?
I
dumb.
don't,
Y'all have a
I
good
don't.
night.
Like real
Thank you
shit,
for
bro.
letting me on.
My name is
All
Joshua
right.
Mazik, right? My name is Joshua Mazik, right? My last name comes from Utahville, right? Nigga, I know my people come from, like, literally, like,
Again, I
so it's
don't
like,
care about none of that. If you're taking the tribes
bro.
of Judah and you're correlating them with the
Yeah.
people in America, then you got to follow the stories of where these people that are that your tribe of Judah, those tribes were doing, right? Because they have people behind the names, right? And they're correlating with the Assyrians. They're correlating with the Babylonians, right? They're interacting with the people in Rome, right?
Yeah.
He
But in the
look.
Bible, they're talking about all this shit, right? And the thing I'm trying to explain is that you're saying the people that were over there were now over here. No, the people that were over here this whole time. They made narratives and
He's
they put up
saying
statues
this. But
and they
this is.
move shit over there. They move things
Can
over
y'all
there.
hear
But
me?
people were always over
Yeah,
here,
we hear
bro.
you.
This is what I've been trying to tell y'all. This is why I don't mess with this shit. They don't. They don't have anything we can hold them to.
Oh
So there's
man.
nothing to hold them to. They're just saying that they told the story wrong, and we are these people, and that's it.
Bro, I'm telling you not to, like,
There's
the thing
nothing to
is,
hold. Y'all won't hold to anything. If we talk to a Muslim,
man.
if we hold, don't be frustrated, bro. I'm
I'm
helping
not
you out.
frustrated. I'm
But
just
I'm
like,
helping you out right now. Like, what would you? Why you cut me off and I'm helping you?
man. I'm just
Because
saying,
they
don't
don't
believe
get
me.
they don't get where you're coming from. They're thinking that you follow the narrative. You're saying that people are putting out false information in the religion and the education system, and that's not the real story. Correct?
Bro, it's the whole thing is this. What I'm saying is this, and this is the simplest way I can say it, bro. We've been deceived.
But if you
Niggas
don't
stole our
understand what
name,
Moses
stole our
said,
language,
if
stole
you
our
agree,
land,
it's
He's
on
not
lied
going
to
to
us
you.
about everything.
I'm good. I'm just trying to help y'all get to an understanding.
Nah, I mean,
You
there's
don't
nothing to
believe
be
in the
understood,
Bible,
bro.
right? You don't believe in the narrative of the Bible, and you don't believe in the American education, the Western education system when it comes to history, correct?
Correct.
That's what I'm saying. So now here's my example. And maybe I'm saying it wrong and you're gonna get offended. I don't know, but I'm not trying to be mean or put you
No,
down
you
or
good,
anything.
bro. I
But
can't get offended.
Muslims, when we talk to a Muslim is bound to the Quran, right? If we talk to a linguist, the linguist is bound to language in the academic field. This new thing with the Native American indigenous and who's the real chosen people of God, there's no book for us to bind the person to, so it's hard to have a conversation. That's why it keeps getting frustrating. But that's all I was trying to point out.
The reason why there's no books is because the Spanish journals will even tell you that when they came over here, the people didn't write books. They actually motherfucking told their language and spoke their language, like in rhymes and riddles and shit.
Yeah.
You
So,
still what you have
uh,
to do if you want to have a good build, you have to give somebody some type of work that used a methodology and came to a conclusion that you subscribe to, and then we can hold you to something. But right now, it's like you're not bound to anything. You can take any piece of information you want, then you can discard the other one. Then you could take that, you could switch the letter around, and it's like you could just go wherever you want. But you got to have something. You got to have some type of at least a lecture from a scholar or someone who wrote a book. Something like we don't have anything to go off, but pieces of stories from history and from religions, and you're not bound to those.
yeah, you're right. I'm starting to realize that these conversations might just be pointless. Because if you're gonna only go off of the word of people that are put there to mislead you, then you're
So
just
you
gonna
gotta
be
give us the
regurgitating bullshit.
references. where they're misleading us. Show me the articles, the books, the websites where Egypt is over here in America first. And then after you do that, tie it with the language.
So
Tie it with
like,
the language, correlating with the people over here in this land.
yeah, I understand what you're saying, and the thing is that it's weird because it's like you
No,
gotta.
it's weird to you.
No, it's not weird. It's not just weird to me. It's more weird in general because it's like I'm telling you not to believe me, and this is just what I'm looking up and finding out, and then it's just like I have to tell you what somebody else believes in order to, like, it's like a majority rules. Like everybody could be wrong. The majority could be wrong with all the evidence and proof that y'all got, or that people, not y'all, but people have. Everybody could be wrong, but then that one person that has no proof and just knows and just puts the pieces together could actually see through the bullshit, and then it's like nobody will believe him.
True.
But then it's always said that, so it's like that's what I'm saying. I appreciate it. I thank you for the bro for mediating shit and he enlightened me, because in reality this shit is kind of pointless, bro.
Yeah,
All
well,
right.
it's not, because I don't think you got this from nowhere. You
Look,
had to get it from somewhere. So where did you get it from? We just want to see what you saw.
Bro,
okay,
for the most part, is what I'm trying to explain. I see shit physically, bro. I
not
literally go through this shit, bro. I didn't,
it's
as a
spirit.
child, I didn't have to go, like, bro, as a child, for instance, bro, nigga, and fucking middle, and as fucking little as I could be, nigga, and it's 5 years old, I fucking get a substitute teacher, and she telling me this shit. She telling me, oh, we not from Africa, we from America. Don't let them lie to you. They trying to steal our shit, da 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 da. And then I found out all this shit I'm trying to, like, in my life, you feel me? My great grandmom, you feel me, native, and she telling me all this shit. And it's mad shit, bro. It's mad truths and shit that's not on the internet, that's not in books, because we didn't write books like these people wrote books. We didn't have the resources these people had. So these people marketed all of this information.
We always did have the resources. We just never acted on it.
We didn't have the marketability, bro.
Well,
We
we
wasn't
You
able to
use
market globally.
you're
well
using the
I have
Bible. You're using the Bible as a map. That's long written history. So
no. Bible
how can
is
you
a
guys create? Wait, I'm asking Joe Bars. How can
okay.
you guys create the Bible or have the Bible be written about you, but then you have no other text? And
Okay.
I don't even stick to just text. I'm talking about archaeology. We need some bones. We need some mummies because all these other people have mummies. The Mayans, they got mummies.
Wow,
Aztecs
that's
got mummies.
if you go to
People
Google
in Brazil, they got
and
mummies and they look just like the people around them. So I'm saying, where does all this information just go? But you guys have the Bible as a blueprint.
the
You
information
guys,
still in your face right now, because if you think about it, if you go to Google right now and search up giants, you see they found giants' bones. And if you go and read the Bible, it tells you giants was born because angels was sleeping with the woman here on earth. So when they were sleeping with the woman here on earth, they had these
Now,
giants, and
I'm
it was
sorry, guys, but if I'm in a live, we're going to stay on subject. Okay, we're not talking about giants and Anunnakis and all that. We're not talking about
I
that.
never
We're
leave
talking about he
and
is
everything.
claiming to be a Israelite and that Israelites are from the Americas and that they're the chosen people and blah blah blah. The maps are upside down. We're only talking about those claims.
Oh, I'm sorry, I kicked in
well,
late.
like, well, to be honest,
Ah,
I'm not
shit.
saying
Hold
this chosen
on.
people shit. Like,
I gotta
the
drop
reason
you,
why,
Antoine.
I was gonna
the
say
I
reason
gotta
why,
drop
like,
you.
that I don't claim
I
that
mean,
God, yeah, but God
I,
teaches the things. This is why I heard him out, and I was
Why
speaking
you
about
still up
God
so late?
inside of him.
Peace, 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 peace to
Uh,
the guys and the goddesses.
uh, I was with the other dude that was preaching. He was preaching his own thing, and it was about Donald Trump and everybody being an antichrist and everything. But he was ending his live, so I was scrolling through the lives, and everything was boring. And then I came across another thing talking about God and everything, and that strikes my interest because that is my interest. So when I heard him speaking godly, I didn't know he was saying I'm an Israelite. It's more of like you might be a chosen one, but you might not be an Israelite. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, like, so
bro,
I didn't know it was a conversation about Israelites and stuff. And
no. When I'm saying, see, this is the misconception and the confusion that I'm understanding. Israel was the land. Judah was the land.
but
Judah
those are
was in Israel.
Those are still lands now. Like these are the last
No,
days.
no, 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 no. These are lands now, but these are all lands now that have been that you can see that when they've been incorporated and named that land, that they weren't named that land before, or when these stories were popular, or these stories were written at that time.
Well, how can you elaborate on that? Because
Chem and Egypt.
yeah, okay, so Egypt was always there. That's even in the Bible way in the early days.
Egypt was always there, but Chem was also always there.
Yeah, but that's not really.
So Chem, so was Chem and Egypt always together, the same?
Yeah, but not really the same. Egypt was the bigger place. So God don't look at the smaller things. Like God ain't gonna look at Ohio. He's gonna look at United States. You see what I'm saying? So Egypt is what God is looking at. He's looking like everything in Egypt is the same thing. Like it's the same thing with the United States. He's looking at not Ohio or California or Georgia. He's looking at everything in the United States. He's looking at the bigger picture because he's the bigger one. Like we don't understand the way God thinks, but God puts it in
I
our
don't
head.
care about that. Earth, speak what you want.
I was just saying,
Man, what's up? Yeah,
really, it is written to our
I
hearts.
just wanted to address a couple things. There was a couple discrepancies up in this here live.
Right here, right now.
Okay, say it, bro. Because you
All
wait.
right,
I'm about to get off to pop up. You could have popped up 2 hours ago.
I wish I did.
man, I
I did.
was busy.
This was
So,
live.
just for the young lady who was up here, she was talking about why don't we have mummies, this, that, and the third. Just for the whole live,
Right.
mummies, the
And that,
only people to ever mummify their dead all around the world are black folks. That's
yeah,
number one.
it was
That's number one.
Egypt. That was kind of
Okay,
the.
now
Now,
bring up,
Now check
now
this out.
bring
Now
up
Jesus
Please,
mummified
please
too.
bring.
Guys, hold on. Let Earth Speaks get it out.
Huh?
that's,
Because we all about to just talk over each other. The
I
Tristan.
wasn't talking. I wasn't talking
It's
at
gonna be,
all. I was just
hold
waiting
on,
for
hold
her
on.
to
It's gonna
explain.
be Tristan and Earth Speaks. Because that's the only reason
Yeah, I'm
why I
about to
went
get
long.
out of here. That'd be great though.
Yeah,
My
he wasn't.
fault.
Tristan,
He wasn't buried alive, but he was mummified. He was wrapped up. He wasn't like mummified. Is like you're buried alive and ate by scarabs. If you look at the mummy, like you know what I'm saying. Like if you think about mummified, you're tied up and put in a coffin and buried alive. That's mummified. Not
Guys,
you're dead. I'm gonna wrap you up. Like no, mummified. I'm alive, getting wrapped up to death. That's what mummified is.
I just did a video on this. They still do. They still there's different ways to mummify a body, and they still
Right.
do it today. They still
Jesus.
do it today. Now, is
Yeah.
this the man right here? Is this the man that was talking about the Bible things and Judah and all these things?
No.
No.
Okay,
This is
so
just join. Like, and I got a lot of facts.
but wait, can you clarify your point that nobody mummified their dead outside of black people? Like, can you
that's
clarify that evidence,
There's
please?
exactly what I mean. If you look at Egypt and you look at
but
and you look.
that's also saying that Jesus is black because nobody mummified anybody except black people. Black people did this. Egyptians was the main ones.
So you
Egyptians.
guys claim, can you guys give a source that says that it was
Well,
only black people now?
I'll give you a source. Just go right. I just did a video. I dropped a video about it today, and I give all the sources. I show the mummies. I show the different ones. I show the American ones. I
Yeah.
show it.
Now, thing is, in the Bible, it don't teach you about who are mummified. Like we learn about hangings and
Oh, we don't
Well, okay.
care about the Bible.
Let's get to that.
I want Earth Speaks to address whatever it is that he wants to address.
not the
I can kill the Bible at a later time. Because that
No,
shit's bullshit.
I'm about ready to address the Bible right now. So when you're talking about these stories, right? When you're talking about the Bible stories, and you keep on saying that you're not Christian, but you're using biblical geography. See, this is the problem here. See, you can't do both.
I am Christian.
Oh, well, then you are Christian. Well, there you go. Well, okay, here we go. So then now I know then. All right. So when you're dealing with the Bible, so what do you go by? The KJV?
No, I go by the word of God. So, like, let's say the KJV gets edited. Like, for
Okay.
example, I got the Bible in my car and I got the Bible on my phone. And I read the Bible on my phone and see things missing that's not in the Bible in my car. So it's
Really?
like, yeah.
Hmm.
So I say, wait a second. Like this don't make
You
sense.
about to
So,
fall for the trap, Earth
but
Speaks. You about to fall for the trap, bro.
No, I ain't. I got the what? Fall for a trap. Listen to me. Now
thank you.
let's break it down. Let's just break it down real quick. There's no trap set for me. Trust me. So check
No,
this
not
out. I'm gonna break it down for you real quick. I'll break it down real quick. The oldest Bible, will you agree, is the Ethiopian Bible, right?
I would say Hebrew. So I
Okay,
disagree.
the Hebrew Bible. The Hebrew Bible. Okay, sure. You want to go? You want to do the Hebrew Bible? Sure.
All
We'll
right,
do
now
Hebrew Bible.
you
Well,
go through
let's do the Hebrew Bible. Let's do it. No, check this out. Let me finish.
Can
So
I ask? Wait a minute. What is your name? What's your
my
actual
name is
name?
my name's Alex.
All right, now type what Alex means in Google or Safari, whichever one you are, what it means in the Bible, and then read what your definition of your name say, because that's what you are.
Listen. Just you see. This is where your discernment is getting hung up on the snares and the spells easily. It gets hung up, and I can sense it. But look, check this out. When you're dealing with the Bible, not just the Bible, but the Quran or the
That,
Dead Sea Scrolls or what's the other one?
those are the
I'm
Bible.
talking about I'm talking about the Tanakh, the Bible, all of these things. I'm talking about the Hebrew Bible. I'm talking about all of it. They're written on parchment paper. So let's not even deal with the words on the paper. Let's just deal with the actual paper itself.
Okay.
Parchment paper. Parchment paper only goes to 200 BC. You get it? So what predates parchment paper is what you have to do. And what predates parchment paper is papyrus paper. The papyrus paper and the paintings and the stories from the papyrus is thousands of years older than parchment paper, and they're the same stories. Now, where does papyrus paper come from? Comes from the papyrus leaf. Where's the papyrus leaf located? On the Nile River. So then you go to the Nile River, and then what predates papyrus paper? With the same stories that's in your Bible from thousands of years earlier, it's the walls. And they can't even date them. So you're sitting here at the beginning of the research, my friend.
So the beginning of the research is also the ending of the research, because what you're thinking right now and making all of your plots.
Oh, man.
Now just listen to me. What
Oh,
you're saying.
man.
All you're proving, the fact that you're proving is that the world develops and grows. Because before, you just said it earlier, which is why I'm saying the same thing. It was written in stone, and now it became paper, and now it's books, and now all you're doing is proving how humans evolve. Like we evolve. Like, look, right now we can take
So
pictures. Google stuff. Like before, we had to use maps if we was delivering pizza. We can check our phone GPS to do it now. All you're doing is proving that.
hold on. You hold on. So you're telling me right now. So
That
look. So
saying
this
this came up at that amount of time. It's like, no, but this was already spoken about before then. All they had to do was
Okay, so let me break that down to you because you think that
all right.
we are better than. Let me break it down real quick because you said you're saying to me right now that we are better than these people that built the pyramids. That's what you're saying. You're saying
No,
we are at a higher consciousness state, and the religions that we use today. Because let me put it in perspective real quick because they call this thing a religion, what I'm talking about. But these people talked about a star that the Europeans today just found in 2020, a white dwarf star. That star they talked about hundreds of thousands of years ago in the teachings in Kemet and in Timerica here, right? So what they said about the star is that the star was the smallest star in the universe, but it was the heaviest. It was the densest star. Now, how would they know that? For them to know that, they would have to know that's every grain of sand on the planet, in the air, and they know the size and weight of all of it.
right.
For
So that
them to know that that is the smallest, but it's the heaviest star in the universe.
all is
Now, Now, what part of your religion is going to get you there?
To believe that.
No, not to believe that. They proved it. They literally now the Europeans were looking for the star, couldn't find it with their telescope because they don't know how to astral project. So they have us thinking that we can go to the stars in a rocket ship because they don't have a pineal gland. You don't travel space that way in a rocket ship.
Do you
6
know that
DNA sequence, man.
if you got to space, do you know that if you really got to space because God already divided it, if you got to space, do you know that you're dead? Do you know that it's
So how did so how so how did they, so how did
Okay,
they go
man.
to the
Thanks,
moon?
man. Thank you.
all right? So God divided the firmament. It's water below and it's water above. If you go into space, you're entering water. That's why you can't breathe. That's why it's deep. That's why it's cold. That's why this is water. It's water
So
above the.
So
We're
so
in the.
look, that don't make sense either, brother. Because if you and know
So,
anything about water, if you fly a airplane into it at Mach speeds, you're going to be hitting a brick wall. So why would they be flying a rocket into water?
so you can't fly directly. If you fly directly upward and hit the firmament, I
Oh boy,
I wish
we
I
are
could.
lost as a people.
No, being lost. The only reason we can be lost as a people is because nobody wants to agree to somebody else's POV or listen to it to where we can make understanding. Now, what I understand about this firmament is that when you go up, you hit water. When you go down, you hit water. If you think about how deep our oceans are, who discovered the bottom of it? Who discovered the bottom of our ocean? And then if
Nobody.
you think about it, if you went all the way down
Nobody.
to the, do you come out in space or do you come out in Japan? I mean, like, if you really went to the bottom of the ocean, what you gonna do? Go to the core of the earth? Has anybody touched the bottom of the waters in Earth? And has anybody really went to space and put a flag on the moon? Nobody got past the water downward or upward. It's death.
See, no, that's the problem here. You think that nobody did, but there. I just told you that them people walked up to that star and waited. That's
Okay,
the
so
problem. They have grounded us, and they
stars.
used that Bible that you're talking about to do it.
No, these are fake things. That's
No, no. Does your Bible tell us how to do that? Does your
alternative.
Bible focus on the pineal gland? Do you know the snake on the Pharaoh's helmet, right? The snake in the middle of his helmet, right?
Same.
That represented your pineal gland. That's what they really taught. Like all of the gods of ancient Egypt, it wasn't actual gods. They didn't worship gods. It was about you. The stories were always about you. It wasn't some gods that were in some far out space cadets with helmets on. No, it was always Thoth, Horus,
Y'all,
Asar, Aset Haru, all the gods, all the everything was all about you.
What
Period.
did I
Point
miss? Who
blank.
said that? Who said it
look,
was
all,
about
all you got to
rocket
talk about the
ships? And stuff?
Moses to get past that. The story of Moses with the Egyptians and everything. He was trying to tell them, like, hey, look, I live with y'all. I grew up with y'all. Y'all my family. But God told me something else, and I had to come against y'all
That don't make
myself.
sense though. That don't make sense because if he grew up with the Egyptians, then he had to learn the 42 laws of Ma'at.
And he
The
did.
42 laws of Ma'at, the 42
That,
laws of Ma'at has always been taught in Kemet. So if he grew up in Kemet, he learned the 42 laws of Ma'at, which are the 10 commandments is where they plagiarized the 42 laws of Ma'at. So he
exactly.
couldn't have went up in. So how did he go up in Mount Sinai, which is right next to Egypt? How did he go in Mount, not Arabia, like the Bible says, but
No,
how did he go up in Mount Sinai and come down with it when he had to grow up with that knowledge? That makes no sense, my friend.
no. Because Egyptians were selfish. They did shit their own way.
Oh,
They wanted to do
man.
their own way. That's
Who
why they
told you that, man?
like
You
on
know what the Sphinx means, man? The Sphinx means your intellect should rise above your animal nature. They were not selfish.
when they
They
when
literally
they
were walking up the stars.
thought the sun woke up because they woke up. No, you woke up when the sun came up. It's like, no, the sun is here with or without you. Like period. They thought the
Bro,
sun, they were the sun. Like, no, you're
let
not
me
the sun.
let me ask you something.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did.
I thought you went to sleep, Mo. Hey, so let me ask you this, right? Since you believe Moses went and got the laws from God on Mount Sinai, where was he at when he did this? Was he in the desert? Was he standing on top of a stone?
I can't believe
Was
you
he?
asked that type of question. This is the craziest thing. Like, he went to a burning bush in the first place.
Oh
Like,
man,
when you ask about
that's a
a,
whole nother story, buddy. That's a whole nother story, man. That's
I
Abraham, and that's something else.
He
already know that.
wasn't.
I was going to
He
explain the whole,
wasn't. He
but when I,
wasn't standing in the temple of Hathor when he got the laws.
all right, let me explain this to you.
He
No,
don't
he
know.
was mountain.
He don't know what
He,
I'm talking
Well,
about.
you're talking about the burning bush when Abraham brought his son up and he told him to sacrifice his son, and then he took him up there. Now, if any god or any religion ever had me in a position where I would have to go sacrifice my son, I don't want no part. I don't feel like being a part of you.
okay, now the same thing with me. I got kids too, and I feel like if God really
So
told
would
me,
you take your kid up there then? Would you take your kid up to the mountain to knock him off?
if God told me to, I ain't got no choice.
Don't answer it.
Oh man, look, I
Don't
don't.
answer. Oh,
No, I was just look. God says, "Thou
You
shalt not kill."
tripping, bro? You tripping?
Commandment, thou shalt not kill. That's
Tripping.
he did not let Abraham kill his son because it's a commandment. Thou shalt not.
That don't make no sense, bro. But he didn't say thou shalt not kill humans. He said thou shalt not kill. Period. So, but to be forgiven, you got to go. If you commit a sin, you got to go take something else's life. You got to take another life form because you think you're more powerful than it, and you can do that. So you would go kill a goat and spread his blood over something. That's how
No.
you're. But thou shalt not kill.
All right. Well, who do you think started eating flesh first? Black people?
Oh,
Or,
Africans, Asians, and the Europeans. Because in
Hebrew.
America and Tamari, we had the fruits and vegetables. Out of the 640 crops grown in Africa today, 600 of them are native to here,
so why was that an argument?
America. So that's why they got diseases. We didn't have chickens. We didn't have cows. We didn't have warthogs. We didn't have any of those things. They were eating. That's why if you go to Africa today, you'll have to take a shot. You'll have to take yellow fever shot and malaria pills because your biology is completely different.
I promise you this: when you're with God, your biology is everything.
Oh man, bro, you got to get your cognitive dissonance squared away, man.
Nah,
That thing is deep.
I'm gonna just tell you some of the stories that I went through in my life. It's not gonna
Nah,
make you.
you can't do that. You can't
Hold
do that
on,
because
wait, because here we go with it.
we can't do
Why
that.
did you have to tell us your testimony of life when it
Because
comes to you believing in
God
your religion?
like that, like God is really that guy. Like the God is really
That
that God.
to you, he's that God.
But no,
But what I'm telling you is
yeah,
because I done already killed this whole Exodus shit. I done put Abraham in the closet. I done put Moses in the closet. I done put
you
Noah
can't.
in the closet. I
All
put
right,
Joshua in the closet.
you put Jesus in the closet,
He already been in the closet.
You mean Mithra or
huh?
Titus? Which one? Or Constantine? Which one you mean?
Okay, I got three questions to ask you of all things, and put these in the closet for me. Now, one, Moses. Put Moses in the closet for me,
I already put Moses in the closet.
not for me. I was
That's
2 hours.
Go look at my YouTube. I'm not finna go through a 15, 20-minute rant on me putting Moses in the closet.
You don't got to make it 5 seconds or 15 seconds, however long it take you to explain it.
I could do it really easy, man. That Jones it comes from comes from Akhenaten, but they took the name from Thutmoses. That's easy as hell. And Thutmoses, by the way, if you look in Deuteronomy, it says in Deuteronomy that they can't find Moses' body, and they can't find it's fitting because they can't find anyone's body in the whole Bible, but they can find Moses the third is laying in the Valley of the Kings right now as we speak.
Right now, did you remember Moses wasn't allowed to see the promised land because he disobeyed God?
Oh
But
Doesn't
my
matter if
God.
he wasn't allowed to see the promised land. What were they doing for 40 years in the desert?
well, Moses, now you got to think about it. That's when he fought against his brother.
No,
And
I
that
don't need to think about it. You need to think about it. What were they doing for 40 years in the desert?
That sound like
time,
that Cain and Abel shit.
Moses got sent on the ship when they killed all the Hebrews and everything, and Moses got sent out in a little
Were they
80
were they were they burning anything to their God?
at that time, burning to God.
The 40
He,
years they were in the desert, did they burn anything to their God? Were they
oh,
practicing any other traditional
like Egyptians
tradition?
didn't burning anything to a
I
God
can't
when they
hear
had
you.
one
I
God.
cannot hear you.
I'm sorry. Uh, Egyptians believed that Pharaoh
We're
was
not talking about the Egyptians, bro. We're talking about Moses and the 40 years in the desert.
no, he didn't
Because
burn
I
any.
say something,
Yes, he
whenever I
did,
talk to
bro.
religious people, I say something, y'all try to move the narrative to something else. We sticking to Moses in the desert. What was he doing 40 years in the desert, bro?
I'm not religious.
The
What?
Egypt,
You a Christian. You're religious. What was
No,
Moses doing for 40
no,
years in the desert, bro? Stop trying to switch the conversation to something else.
explain to
the
y'all.
Egypt, the easiest way to explain away Moses and to know that that story is fictitious is that
Uh,
the people who study Egyptology for real, I have, I think the scholar's name is like Alafi Muhammad or something like that. It's on my page, but they have evidence that during the time of so-called Moses, they didn't have an enslavement of so-called Israelites. And they even tried to give a different sect of people called it
Like
starts with the S.
Moses
They
freedom.
they tried to give a different sect. Maybe it was them, not the Israelites, but they still couldn't find any enslavement happening around any of this time.
There's
So
like
Well,
that's how we know the stories can't be real. And this Moses would be on paper.
wait.
This Moses would be documented by the Egyptians. They haven't found it yet.
Also,
also,
So
yeah, she's
why
absolutely right.
if
why
you
Moses?
She's she's
Moses,
talking about how they did a study on at that time the economics. They did an economic study, and that's what she's speaking about because it says that it was 640,000 families
that's the only
that
thing.
were there. That means over 1 million people. So when you take 1 million people out of one place and then you move them to another, the one area's economy will drop and the other area's economy will go up. So that's the study she's talking about.
Then why is the Red Sea red? Then
There's no evidence. There's absolutely no evidence. I mean, and not only that, but you would see pottery from 1 million people. You would see different pottery, the trade exchange from that happening,
that's what I
things
said.
like that. And there's no evidence. There's no financial or
It's that
archaeological evidence to support
Open
any Jews being
about pottery.
anywhere near Egypt. Yeah,
There's
yeah, because you would have the people that came there, they would have their own sort of tools and things that they used from their culture. It would be in the other land, and there's no evidence of that.
we're not gonna have disaster.
and another issue is if you had a God
Yeah, why
like
is the
the
red?
God in the Bible, if you had a God like the God in the Bible that was doing all that stuff to those people, they would have wrote about it, not to brag about how they got their ass kicked, but so that they people know that there's a threat to us. There's somebody that will fuck us up, and you need to be
Right?
careful when you see
It
these people. They would have documented that. They wouldn't have left their kids blind to the
is
fact that there's
docu.
a God splitting the sea and
Brother was mad
turning
at him.
the
Believing him.
Nile
Well,
red,
and the
turning
story
snakes
doesn't
into
really make
chicks.
sense either because it doesn't make sense because they said it says in the story that God killed the kids. Like, he killed the firstborn. But why wouldn't God just kill the dude who's doing it? Why wouldn't he just kill the Pharaoh? Why is he killing all the kids and
I
not just the Pharaoh? Like the Pharaoh, that don't make any sense. Like he's going to kill all the kids?
understandable.
But people were
Uh,
eating them kids.
All right,
Your
wait.
God got anger management.
Because this makes a lot of sense, and I'm glad that you asked that question because that's a question that I would ask myself. Like I promise you, like everything that you're saying right now, I didn't
It's
already ask.
always about killing the kid or sacrificing something, or you need the blood on something, or you need freaking something. Something that got to do with blood.
This thought. Like, look, I thought the same thing myself. That's why I said it's the difference between religion. Religion is, oh, I can't drink and smoke. Man, I can do what I want. Belief is different. Now, look,
Belief
this
is a doubt. Belief means you just don't know. That's what belief is. Belief means, like, you don't have to
You
believe
cannot
in
drink
your
and
mom.
smoke if you're a Christian.
ask
You
because
cannot drink and smoke if you're a Christian. You cannot
He
have
said you
sex
can't
before
bring your
marriage if
children.
you're a Christian,
Earth
and
speak.
then you cannot work.
Go look at my comment. Earth speak.
All right. Now, if y'all really want to take
I
it
ain't hear you,
there,
bro.
Go look
religion.
at my comment. I just commented on you.
What's the Ten
Go
Commandments?
read my comment.
Right now, I'm telling you,
Commented on me.
say none of that.
You see it?
The Ten Commandments do not. This is what religion made. This, not what God tells you to do. I ain't gonna kill nobody. I ain't gonna rob nobody.
God.
Us with nobody else's wife. I ain't gonna do
Let
none
me
of
know
this.
when you're done, bro.
Like, thou shalt not be addicted to anything. Because probably some of y'all smoke weed or something. Like, I mean, I don't care.
Do you smoke weed?
It's hard for me to see. I can barely see it.
I'll tell you, I drink a couple drinks and everything like that, but I ain't gonna. I'm like, I drink. I don't smoke weed.
So let me
But
so
their
let
own
me ask
fault.
you so let me ask you this question. How can you subscribe to God but and the Bible, but you say you're not religious? Make that make sense for me.
Okay, because religion is different than belief. Because if you read John 3,
Hold on, look, listen.
hey, hold
Because
on,
I asked him what was Moses doing in the desert for 40 years, and we all ran away from the topic.
That topic right there is pretty easy. It would take because there's people who have walked that before, and they take under 2 days
he
to
has
do it.
to answer it, bro. You don't answer it for him.
All right, I'll answer because I didn't hear your question, so I answer after you answer
I
mine.
said it like 5 times.
John 3:16. What does John 3:16 say?
Oh my God, a spell! Don't do it.
Tell me what Moses was doing in the desert for 40 years.
Okay,
Just tell me.
John is way after Moses. Way before
Initial
Jesus came.
conversation. No. Okay. This is the initial conversation. You told him to prove that Moses didn't exist. So everybody gave you answers about it. We were talking about Moses. I don't know why people can't stay on the topic, but y'all went other places. Now let's get back to Moses. How did Moses, that's what the conversation was about.
Yeah, and I proved that he existed. That's why another topic, because I proved he existed. So now we're talking about somebody else.
Okay, you proved it. Now you proved he existed, but I asked you to prove him being in the desert for 40 years and what was he doing, and you still ain't run back to the block. You ain't spin the block on that,
bro. You would be famous. You would be the only one that proved that Moses existed.
Water. They took him in. He was in a basket in the water, and they took him in. They sent him born.
No, stop. I'm not talking about the beginning of his story. I'm talking about after they left Egypt. After when he went to go get the commandments, and he got the commandments and came down and saw his people was worshiping a golden calf, aka the religion or practice of Mithra. What happened after that? And for the 40 years when he was about to step into the promised land, and God crept up behind him and put him on a t-shirt.
Well, I wouldn't say crept up behind him, but he did tell him beforehand that no, you can't go. But
okay, so what were they doing in the desert?
I'm with the Ten Commandments and everything and all that. Okay, well, I approve this too. Because that's too easy. I can't believe y'all gave me a simple question.
Come on, get with it, man. You're taking too long.
All right. Well, the simple thing is he came down and had to fight against his brother. He didn't want to fight against his brother, but he told his brother, like, hey, look, like, this is what's really gonna happen. Like, and I'm not trying to do this to you. I love you. Just go watch the Prince of Egypt. You'll see it yourself. Like he said, I love you. Like, I don't want like God.
Go watch the cartoon. Okay, look, you just beating around the bush. In the book, they put people on t-shirts, right? And then they sat in the desert for 40 years. Right?
He said, look, bro, I believe me right now. Like, I'm gonna have to plague you with.
I don't care about that because you just dragging it on because you don't want to tell me what they were doing. You don't want to tell me what they were doing in the desert for 40 years.
Years and 10 seconds.
No, because you're about to talk for 15, 20 minutes and not get to the point. This is what always happens.
No, I said if you want me to explain 40 years in 15 seconds, I will. His brother
The thing is that area that they're talking about, the walk over, it literally only takes like a day and a half walk to walk that. So ain't no way that they was.
It would have taken them 11 days to get to the promised land. And they sat there for 40 years.
We
could literally done studies on that, man. Since then,
listen, we could bump it. We could bump it up to maybe. We could bump it up to even a month. because
But
of
see,
old people,
Take
but the
pregnant
take a
problem,
people,
month. Yeah, go ahead.
little
Take a full
kids.
month.
We
Right.
could
Yeah,
do
right, exactly.
that, but it's never going to get you to no damn 40 years. It's not going to
yeah,
happen.
I,
What are they doing?
I
What
promise
are
you,
you
right?
doing for
That means
40
somebody
years?
walked in the desert. They walked into the desert
All
and
right, bro.
came out an elder. Like that's their whole damn life in the desert, and there's
Literally,
no documentation of it.
how is it not? It's all written.
What it's written in the Bible only. Where
And
else?
oh,
Well,
he
hold on, wait,
paid
wait,
for.
wait, 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 wait. Because you got us wasting our tax dollars and shit. Because they keep taking these kids over here,
Old
like I'm
Testament.
about to do.
That's not man.
Bro. Hold up. I only need like 30 seconds, and you can get back to running around on the hamster wheel. Look, there are billions of dollars being spent to take younger people over there, the elders, the professors, the anthropologists, all the people who do the groundwork. They're taking these kids over there or the students in college over there to go look for shit to help prove your point. So why don't you go to these universities so we can save our money? Because they're still trying to prove Moses existed. They don't have the proof yet. That's why they're still looking. If you got it, help
Nobody,
your people out.
nobody can prove it, sir. So if you think you proved it while we were talking, you are incorrect.
No,
These are
because
people who are.
he just
These are
stayed
people.
with Moses' brother, and they had an argument, and then Moses' brother Aaron got to live. Even though he was part of the insurrection, and they put all the elders on T-shirts because they was following the golden calf. But I want to know, what were the people doing in the desert for 40 years when nobody's seeing them? Because I know stuff that you don't know about the stuff that was going on in Canaan during the same time Moses is supposed to be in the land for 40 years in the desert. But you don't know that because you just stick to the book.
I mean, well, the book will
Right.
tell you that Mount Sinai is in a place called Arabia, and that's the whole problem. It's not in Arabia; it's in Africa, and that's how they did. That's how they took these places out of Africa and created. Because these are the same people that Moses went into the Caucasus Mountains to bring knowledge to. Moses the third went into the mountains and brought these people knowledge. These same folks. So that they had no nationality. They created the Bible, and they used the Bible to biblical geography to give themselves a nationality. That's why we see the white folks today, and they're Jews. They used the Bible that you're subscribing to give themselves a bunch of different nationalities. Look at all the Palestinians and this and that and all these different things because they had no nationality,
I was
literally.
black.
What? That's going away from the point too, Earth
So
Speaks.
Listen,
now,
But
okay, the
since
original people,
he
the
doesn't
original
know what his
Romans,
people was doing, I'm going to tell him.
sure.
When they were in the land, in the desert, they had to set up some type of makeshift city, right? You had to set up places for people to sleep, right? You talking about they took hundreds of thousands of people out. They had no place to sleep, so they just slept on the dirt. They would have to create some housing. They would have to create something for them to go to the bathroom, right? They would have to create something in order for them to get fresh drinking water, right? You gotta have places to throw your feces. You gotta have some place to bury your dead. You gotta have some place to, when your livestock dies of natural causes, you gotta bury that, right?
You're in a desert. It's a lot of dirt. So you mean to tell me you can't bury
There's
feces
no
and
evidence of any of it,
No,
is what
hold
he's
on, wait.
saying.
I didn't say you couldn't do it. I said that's what they're doing, right?
okay?
The book tells you that they were cutting down trees and making sacrifices to their God while they're still in the desert. They're burning shit, right? So while
Yeah.
they're burning shit in the desert for 40 years in Israel, in Mount Sinai, you got what you call military force of the Egyptians who do patrols from Egypt to Canaan, from Canaan to Egypt. So
That's
you
what.
mean it? What?
That's exactly what I was just.
That was what?
That's what I was explaining. I was literally explaining what that is, but y'all didn't let me convert 40
Bro,
years
you
and then.
take too long to get to the point. So I got to the point for you. If
Oh,
you
okay.
had military forts standing during the time that Moses was in the desert and the Egyptian military is going back and forth doing training exercises and just expeditions out, you don't think that they would have saw these people in the desert and walked up on them like, hey, who you? You don't think that would have happened?
True. That's just like me walking up to you out of nowhere. Like, let's say, for example,
Besides
like
that, they just would have put them on a T-shirt right then and
let's
there.
There you
we
go.
just walking around. I see you walking, I see me walking, but I see a lot of shit going on that you don't see, and you just waking up, and I come and cover your mouth and tell you to shut the fuck up. Hey, don't say nothing, bro. Like, don't say nothing. I got you. You're gonna be like, what the fuck? And you're gonna ask questions, right? Of course you are. 'Cause who the fuck is this guy? Why is he coming and covering my mouth? Why is he telling me don't say shit? Why is he saying he got my back? You're gonna have questions.
Okay, and
But
what would have happened? What would have happened after that?
you probably get into a fight, depending on the type of guy
There ain't
that you
no
are.
fight. Listen, when you read your book, the Pharaoh, the ruler, because I don't even want to use Pharaoh because that's not what a ruler in Egypt was,
And
right?
that's what he took it as. Pharaoh was the ruler. He's the sun, and he's the rising star. Like
Okay,
that's
so
the
what happened to him in the book? He got put on a T-shirt. So you got these military people walking back and forth. They would have got wind that some people who left out of this land put their ruler on a T-shirt.
he
So
didn't
they
get
would
put on.
have been looking for this group of people they know nothing about in mass numbers.
He
They
got
would
people.
have had patrols up to like 300 men each.
He
Each
wasn't.
patrol would have been up to 300 men looking for them.
He wasn't allowed to kill the Pharaoh though. Like
Say
he didn't.
that again. He what?
He wasn't allowed to kill the Pharaoh. Like he did not kill the Pharaoh. That was his
Well,
brother.
why? Why wasn't he allowed to kill the Pharaoh? And that's the whole thing. See, when you see the story about Moses and he throws the
I wanted
snake, it's a
Pharaoh to believe as well, but the only
well,
thing is,
well. I mean, you got to look at the story. You're not even really seeing the story clearly because if you see the story and he's throwing the snake down, right? Because the Egyptians was known as the snake people,
talk
right?
about the
No,
Pharaoh.
you're taking us back to when I was in Egypt. We passed that. They in the desert, and
You in the
you got
desert,
the
yeah, but
Egyptian,
you
you
still
got
got to
the
see
Egyptian
the
military, bro.
symbolism and really
So
what
what he's telling us is
Pharaoh
that
could.
the Egyptian military ran into the Hebrew Israelites in the desert, and they didn't do nothing to them after their
uh,
leader was dead.
that's the thing though. That's the thing we're getting mixed up. Hebrew Israelite, a Hebrew. You cannot be Hebrew. Like
Okay,
we need to
okay.
you
So
cannot be Hebrew.
we're
Hebrew was
not gonna
only a
worry.
language.
We're not gonna worry about the terminology. We're
I
just
mean,
gonna
we saying that because that's what they call themselves. We know
yeah.
there's
No, they
another.
didn't never call themselves that. Hebrew was
Okay.
always
We
only
just
a
The
language
people who
only.
we're talking to today who think they're Hebrew Israelites, they call themselves that. So that's what we call them. We
Oh, I
know
got
one
you.
is a language and the other one is just a foreigner who wanders around.
Oh,
We
I
know that
was
don't
thinking
exist,
that he was
but that's
saying
what they
that the
call
Hebrew
themselves.
Israel. That's what I'm saying. And they created Israel. Israel. They created all of these places, Palestinians, and they created all of that, Arabian, and they created these places with biblical geography. And they backed it up with apologetics. Apologetics is the way to argue those things into reality, but they're not reality. Those people never existed. None of those people. Palestinians, Judeans, whatever, people from Judah, none of them people, none of that stuff existed. Those are not actual places ever. It's biblical geography. It's completely made up.
So, what does apologetics mean?
Apologetics is a way. If you look up Saint Jerome, he's the one who basically put the whole Bible together. He's the one who put the Bible together. He's the one who made up the Virgin Mary, not the story, but that her name was Mary, and he's the one who the perpetual virginity of Mary. He's the one who put that in the Bible.
Bro, I wish my face was on camera right now because you see how I'm looking at you. Like, what, bro? Are you serious?
Go look it up. Look it up right now. Look it
Oh,
up
no,
right now.
that's not real. And then look, our worst
What's not
enemy.
real? Look, bro. Listen to me. Listen to me. I just gave you a fact. This man is the one who is responsible for the perpetual virginity of Mary, and his whole shtick was apologetics.
All right, let me
Just
preach
like
something.
I said, it was a way to argue biblical geography because biblical geography is fake. It's, along with the people, all of the people in the Bible are fake. Everyone.
Even Jesus?
Jesus
Hold on,
Christ is the
wait.
story of the actual Son.
He
Yes.
just told you something you didn't catch that. He
No,
said
no.
biblical
I caught,
geography is fake. I don't think you caught that, bro.
yeah, he said everybody in the Bible is fake. This is where my defense kicks in. This is
Everyone.
where I'm about to point that
Okay,
this
well,
is real.
I'll tell you the
Now
story of
check this.
Jesus. You want to know the story of
Go,
Jesus Christ? I'll break it down to you in like 2 minutes.
go and read
It's easy.
Revelations
It's
13
real
then.
easy. That story of Jesus Christ is the story of the actual Son. And that's the whole problem with our society today. We don't know where we're at. We don't know where we're at, bro.
And
Look,
I'm
the story,
and
it was the
I,
story of the actual sun. So what you don't know is the sun doesn't only rise in the east and set in the west. After the 25th, right? So on December 21st, the sun stops moving. It's the shortest day of the year, right? That's when they
no.
said the sun, let me finish, so you can get a full understanding of what the actual teaching is, at least. That's when they said the sun dies. Now, they said the sun dies on the cross because on the 25th, it starts moving again, right? It makes an ascension. Now, right? After the 25th, it doesn't rise in the east and set in the west anymore until the summer, the spring solstice. From that point until the spring solstice, it rises and then it goes across the sky. It goes across the sky. So the sun makes its pattern makes a cross. That's why they said the sun dies on the cross. Now, when it starts moving again on the 25th, Virgo, the constellation Virgo, is halfway up the horizon. And the two donkey stable constellation, Cancer, is in the air, in the sky at the same time. That's why they said the sun is born of a virgin in the stable. That's where
Wow,
that comes from. The three wise men are the three stars of Orion's belt. And if you know anything about the Egyptians or Tamaricans, you know that they built the pyramids mathematically perfect to Orion's belt. Each star on Orion's belt, which we called the three wise men.
so you're
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
so Virgos, you talking about the 25th of December, but Virgos are September. So I don't get how you can trust a man's word for that.
I just said Virgo, the constellation. They used they all of those stories are about the stars. It's all of it. All of
Okay,
it.
so the stars. Okay, now can you name all the stars up there? Because God can. Can you name how many pieces of sand is on the earth? Because God can. Can you name how
Hey,
many
yo,
hairs?
Well,
stop. What
God's
they got?
okay. Well, then
Did God tell you how many pieces of sand is on the earth? Did God tell you how many stars is in the sky? Did he tell
This
you that?
these are things that are unknown to us because only God
It's a
knows.
simple
no,
yes
but
or
you're
no.
Learn this
You
stuff.
trying to explain something that don't need to be explained. It's a simple yes or no.
Say it again.
It's a simple yes or no.
see, but that's a lie. I just proved that that's a lie. He said that's unknown to us, but that's a lie. I just told you when I came on this live that the ancient Kemites, the ancient Timericans walked up to a star and weighed it and told you it was the smallest but the heaviest star. So for them to know that, they would have to know the height and the weight of every star. So what are you talking about?
Do you know the weight of any kind of star?
Exactly.
But
No, we don't now
you talking
because
about?
of your book. That's my whole point.
You said they
Stars.
walked up and did what?
That penetrates you.
Yo, that's
You
a
learn.
fact. That's 100% fact. And those people, the Europeans, because they use their telescopes and their rocket ships, they just found that star in 2020. If you look at it right now, you'll see they've been looking for it thousands of years. They couldn't find it because it's so small. They could not find it, and they just found it's a white dwarf star. They just found in 2020. That now, let me put that in perspective. They only just found it now. They only found it with their telescope. Now they didn't weigh it. They don't know the size of it. They don't know the density. They say that they do because they already heard from the Kemites.
Right, we got that part. There's no problem with a mystery. I'm still blown off of the first pieces of information that Dogon's had, right? That's cool. They can have that. But they never told them how. Like you said, they walked up and measured. How do you even begin
I
to do that?
Astral projection. Astral projection. That's the emphasis on astro.
talking about some human design
Oh,
that
okay.
makes you think
Out
that
of
you know things.
Go ahead.
How
That's the
many
only way they would have been able to do
look
it. That's why you see those pyramids are power sources. Literally, they are spaceships.
astral
They literally are.
hole sounds? How do you know how a black hole sounds? Come on now. Like that's like how do you know how anything sounds
Bro,
underwater?
the government don't even know how black holes sound. They literally
They,
fool you with
but that's
that shit.
online right now. Go Google it. How does a black hole sound? I'm telling you, they're gonna tell you how a
But
black hole sounds.
but then
Like
you'll
man,
later say Google is not to be trusted because it's made by man, and yet the Bible is made by man, but yet you trust the Bible. So
you can't trust men. So when you're listening to men's stuff, it's that to your
so
ears.
can't you say that same
So
thing about the Bible, who was written by who actually
that,
was written by a man? Because if it
so
was really inspired by God,
no,
why did Moses write the first 5 books?
Bible is when you read the
Oh
Bible.
boy! And if Moses wrote the first 5 books, then why does he talk about himself in those books in the third person, like somebody else, just describing his dead and his death and all these other things? How did
Hey,
he
this
do
ain't
that?
the word I speak. This ain't the word that I
Don't make no sense, bro. None of your junk. But and let
me.
me clear something up real quick, because your creation story is all wrong. If a
Wait,
woman came from a man,
I have
which is
Right.
this.
we know is not a fact. The woman is the dominant species on the planet, is the XX gene. The man is the XY gene, a genetic mutation of the woman. That's a fact. That's 100 million% fact, bro.
Oh, that's the biggest I ever heard. Women were
I
created.
just have one more question.
Let me tell
If
you how
if
how
Moses
how honest
if
that is.
Moses wrote the first 5 books,
Look,
why can't we find Moses today?
why
So
can't we?
it's all a lie. It's all a lie. Let's move
Okay.
on.
So what you're basically saying right now is I can't find Moses is the same way we can't find Jesus, which is the same way we can't find John, which is the same way we can't find. Who did y'all find?
You
Humans.
can't
We
find none of them because they didn't exist. And you
Because
can't
there
not only can hold
I
up. Not only can you not
I
find them, but you can't
but
find none of their lines either. You can't find any of their lines either. None of their offspring, none of their nothing.
they got taken up.
there
All the guys got up with him.
Oh, they got taken up. Oh my God.
there
Oh,
are about two or three like historical figures that the consensus is that they can find that they were real people in the Bible, but the major characters nobody
Abraham,
can find because they weren't there.
Abraham, you can't find. He got
No,
ascended to
No,
Abraham.
no,
no.
no.
They can't
No,
find Matthew, Mark, Luke, David, John, none of the apostles, nobody.
I asked Romans, First Corinthians, Second Corinthians. Yeah, I know. Can't find none of them. Why? These were prophets
Why? Exactly. Because they didn't exist.
up.
There's no burial place because they never got buried. They never walked the planet.
And
Uh,
some of the
so,
history,
hey,
some of the
listen.
history of some of the history of the Bible,
One
the
second.
time periods
All
of the
right.
chronological order around it, the other historians and the other people, they couldn't. It wasn't a part of their stories either. That's why we said in Egypt they would have written about a God that took over something. They would have written about Moses. They would have. They didn't though. They wrote about everything else, but they didn't
They to
write
be
about
God.
anything in the Bible.
That's what I just said. They wanted to be God themselves. They thought they were God. This is why Moses fought his own brother.
Oh man, dude, your cognitive dissonance is bliss.
You're blessed because like that. You don't understand that Moses really only fought his own brother because he got
The
spoke.
problem is they have us understanding, and that's the problem. You're understanding. You're not understanding or overstanding any of these things. If you have a Bible and you look up Galatians, you'll see Galatians chapter 4, verse 22 through 28. You'll see that those stories are allegory stories. It shows you right there. Literally, it tells you
And
that
then
Mount
some of your
Sinai is
pastors
Agar and all of that. And if you get written, that's Abraham. So
And then some of your pastors will tell you that it is metaphorical and that you shouldn't even take it literal. But yeah, you will take it literal and think that these stories happen. It'll be passed down to families within generation after generation. But yet somewhere And along the lines of you studying the Bible, it'll say that you're not even supposed to take it literal.
No, you can't take anything before you literal. You have to see the signs of the Bible to take. So when you see the things happening in real life, like right now, y'all don't see that the power, like the mark of the beast and shit coming right now. Y'all don't see this shit right now because of the simple fact.
Why is he still here?
Yo, no, hold on. Let me ask you a question. Wait a second.
Y'all not see the mark of the
Did you get that jab? I ain't trying to get personal with you, man, on HIPAA laws or nothing. But did you get the jab?
I thought that was the mark of the beast, which it ain't.
So did you say you got it? He was like,
I don't got the mark. I didn't get the jab because I thought it was the mark of the beast because that has a metal chip in it. I'm not getting that shit because of the mark of the beast. It has a metal
okay,
chip.
so the same people that have that line, right? So this is what you got to know. The queen, she just died, right? So did and now Prince Charles, hold on, because I want to break it down because this is connected to the history that we're speaking about.
Okay.
Now, you want to talk about who owns the United States, right? The United States is only 10 miles long and it's owned by them. But who is owned by the Queen and now the King Charles, right? King Charles and the Queen of England are direct descendants of someone called Vlad the Impaler. Vlad the Impaler is
I wish I could just show you the screenshots that
okay.
I got. I said
Okay, so Vlad the Impaler is a real person. We call him as the stories of Dracula. That's Vlad the Impaler. That's their offspring. Now, when you go to Vlad the Impaler and you trace him back, you'll trace him back to Caesar. You'll trace him back to the Emperor of Rome. And then if anybody knows about the Emperor of Rome became the Pope in 708. So these are all the same people who created this Bible and biblical geography. They're all the same people. And if you know anything about today's presidents, you'll know that they're all related and they're all go back to that same line I'm speaking about. Along with King James also.
And mind you, they will change their names just so you won't get an inkling of who they are and who their family were.
Exactly. And they do that with their LLCs and their businesses and shit. And they do that today. Like, just like you don't know that the CDC and the FDA are the same people. You don't know the FDA or the Federal Reserve. You don't know that Walmart is Walgreens. You don't know that Pepsi is Tropicana. You see what I'm saying? You don't know.
But King James, let's be clear, King James there's no consensus that King James ever existed. So it doesn't
there was five King James. Sure, he existed.
William Shakespeare.
William Shakespeare was his lover.
Okay.
Still all stage names.
William Shakespeare, he commissioned William Shakespeare to write the Bible. He asked him, could he put his name in the Bible, and he told him no. He told him no, he can't put his name in the Bible. So William Shakespeare ended up doing it, but he did it in a clever way.
That's why you had some of those lines saying "thou," "dost," and stuff like that. And the only time you heard about stuff like that the only time you heard that language was in William Shakespeare's screenplays.
Exactly. He's the one who wrote the Bible. That's the King James version.
No, I don't have a problem with if we say Shakespeare was a writer in the King James version, but that is a whole type of English. Like other people outside of Shakespeare wrote like that. So, like, I guess what I'm saying is, I see that you guys are trying to use this information as to say why RJ shouldn't believe in the Bible, but you should just make claims that have consensus for now. And if your claims don't have consensus and it's just like whatever, like don't add it to it, because then we have to argue those points just the same as we argue the points against Christianity.
Okay. Well, everything I just said is a fact. You can go Google me and go ahead and check out. I don't think you've been on my channel. I don't think you've been on my channel. So you just go check out my channel.
Listen, hold
I
up.
show the receipts to
I want
everything
to
I
make
say.
this clear, real quick. You can Google anything anyone has said up here, and you're gonna find it. It don't mean it's true. I just want to make that clear.
Okay, so that's absolutely true. That's
It's
right
the
too. But
method. It's the method in which, just like you did that good breakdown like 2 minutes ago, when you was breaking down the astrology and all of that. That's a method that you can use that can't be denied. So it's not just because it's on Google. It's you got to have a method to get to that conclusion.
and also you can have there's other facts that point to the same thing. Like we don't have a fact until you have corroborating evidence that are also facts, and corroborating evidence saying that those facts that are supporting that fact are facts also. So that's a fact. And also King James wrote many books, including a series of books called Demonology. Go check out Demonology. Go read that, and then you'll see his ideology, and then you'll see this is the same person whose God you're subscribing to. He wrote like 600 books. That dude was a demon, straight up.
His works, Set Thy Heart at Rest. I like his works. I wouldn't call him a demon. I would call him an artist, but that's
Who
just
you
my
talking about?
opinion.
You're talking about uh,
William Shakespeare.
no, I'm
I
not
like
talking about William Shakespeare. I'm talking about King James. He didn't commission him to write all of those books. He wrote other books. He wrote a series of books called Demonology. It's a 3-part series, and it is horrible. He was really at this point in time when King James was around, it was a lot of they were trying to kill off black folks basically. So and black folks' spirituality was deeply rooted. Like literally, we could smack birds out of the air with sound. We were doing shit like that. So they called that voodoo. And back then they were burning. It was a big thing to burn witches. They called them witches. At
okay.
the stake over that kind of stuff. So yeah.
Mofax
This
and
dude was
Susan.
a straight demon.
Mofax and
And that's
Susan.
the
So
reason.
you're did I
And that's the reason
did
why
I
that's pretty much it's kind of barred to do magic in certain countries.
Breaking up, bro. We can't hear you.
I have a question though. Mofax and Susan, did I say King James didn't exist, or did I say King David? Do you guys remember? Hopefully I said King David. That's who I meant.
Okay. Yeah, King David didn't exist. You're right.
Okay. Did I say
That
King James?
story comes from when he was talking about that comes from Ramses the Third when he's talking about bring me their scrotums and all that. That comes from the Pharaoh. The Pharaoh they was warring because they didn't bring the dark moon unless somebody was trying to invade, basically, right? So what they did was the Pharaoh said, "Look, bring me their hands," and they started bringing the hands, and he brought so many hands. So they was like, "Hold on." He was like, How do I know that these people are men?" He said, "So look, from now on, bring me their scrotum." And that's what they did, and they took these stories. That's how they took that story. They took that story of David from the Pharaoh. They did that with all the stories. They did that with all. I could keep going for forever. I could tell you about all this different stories and what they really mean. That's real. In the beginning was the word. That's what that really meant. What you think and what you say will become your reality. Literally, your diet isn't just what you put in your mouth. It's what you see. It's what you hear. It's what you feel. It's everything.
Okay, Susan, do you want to get back on the topic, or are we going to sleep? What's going on?
I was supposed to be going to sleep at 10 o'clock, and the dude came up with this Christianity shit. And every time I asked him something, everybody else would just let him get off topic. And then they just start talking about whatever they wanted to talk about. So I just sat here and was quiet as shit like Mo.
Yeah, that's why I said if I'm in the live now, we just got to stay on topic because presenting new ideas while we're
saying it. Mo kept saying it.
Yeah. It's like everybody, they're using these lives to present their own thought processes, but we do have topics that we're talking about.
You guys want to hear my testament of things that I don't give a fuck about the shit that happened to you in your life. That's why you try to tie with your God. Tell me what Moses was doing in the desert for 40 fucking years. He didn't want to do that. It said
I could have made up.
They were chopping down trees and burning stuff and animals, having animal sacrifices to their God. So you don't think that the military, these forts where the military is, where they're having training exercises in the desert, would have saw it, burning shit. You got feces in the desert. You don't think they would have smelt it? You got over 600,000 people in the desert. You don't think they would have smelled piss and shit? Rotting flesh of animals, of dead people. They would have smelled all this stuff, and they would have been, and especially, y'all put their ruler on a t-shirt. So now the army would have been looking for you. The general of the army would have been looking for you.
I could have came up with a better answer. I would answer like, it says 40 years in the Bible because, it's the desert, it's hot. They might have, been hallucinated and felt like it took longer. I would have took you away from the 40 years, but he didn't, I don't even know if he really answered that. He didn't answer.
No, he didn't. I answered it for him, and then we just got off topic.
Because there ain't no real answer. There ain't no answer to that. There ain't no way it's going to take nobody 40 years.
I started conversating with them, and then somebody would have put somebody's hand over somebody's mouth and told them shush. He didn't tell me who that was. But there's no way that the Hebrews or Jews, whatever they want to call themselves, left out of Egypt, and then the walls of the sea crushed on Moses and his whole army. I mean, the Pharaoh and his whole army, and then the leader of this nation came up missing, and then his people now look for him. Or now look for the people that left the land that saw this happen.
And I believe that scripture said
the Pharaoh and some of the army chased after these Israelites that left out of here, and the Pharaoh never came back. So they would have sent a carrier over to the military base and said, hey, we can't find our leader. Y'all need to send a couple of patrols out between 100 and 300 people and find our ruler. Not only would they have came out, the vassal kingdoms in Canaan would have came out and been looking for the Pharaoh, what they want to call the Pharaoh. So you would have the Egyptians looking for him and the vassal kingdom that they had in Canaan, where they came out looking for these people. They would have put, oh, I'm not praying to Hathor right now. I got to go try to help y'all find the leader because he's ruling over us. Okay, let's go. They would have run up on these people in the desert, like, hey, have y'all seen our ruler? They're like, oh, what do you mean? And somebody would have told them something, because remember, at this time, a lot of them wanted to go back into Egypt. They were bitching and complaining the whole time they was in the desert because they was expecting to see the promised land, and they was there for 40 years. So even if they were there for 3 years, they wouldn't be like, oh, I'm giving this up. I'm going back to the land of milk and honey. What the fuck you mean? I'm not going to stay here. I'm tired of eating manna all day. This is just nasty. It tastes like fucking toe clippings. I'm out. They would have snitched. You got over 600,000 people in the desert. Somebody would have snitched. Yeah, Moses did some shit with the ocean and it closed up. We got out and the Pharaoh didn't make it. I'm hungry. Give me some chicken and some bread. They're like, okay, here, Moses, come with me. The people who left out of the Exodus were not fighters. They regular people. They were regular people. So you think they would have lasted going up against this army? That would have been like 5 to 10 minutes of easy work. And then they all would have been a wrap. And then they would have made them march. Whoever survived the slaughter, they would have got marched right back into Egypt.
I mean, but why would you go from Egypt, where you're going to be taken better, than go into the wilderness for 40 years? That don't make no sense. And you're eating manna only.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If these people know, and let's say we're just talking about if the Bible was real, and these people was like, "Dang, I've been here for 3 years and we ain't went to the Promised Land yet. I'm going back to Egypt." A whole generation of people just spent their whole lives in the desert. They ain't going for that. Nope.
Yeah, and I think if I can recall that scripture said it was 650,000 families. So it didn't just say 600,000 people. It said 600,000 families. So you put 600,000 families, say 3 to a family, maybe 4 to a family, a boy and a kid and a husband and a wife. You talking about a lot of people, man. You talking about almost 1.5 million, over a million people.
Here and say they didn't deserve to get there. So you mean to tell me the kids that were born didn't deserve to go? The kids that were on the march from the Exodus, they didn't deserve to go? Because they would have been 40 or damn close to it. They would have been 38, 39, 40. They didn't deserve to go.
And them kids is growing up, and they've been walking around in circles for 40 years. Ain't nobody coming up like, yo, man, I'm not going this way no more. I don't want to go left. We've been going left for 40 years. Can we go right this time?
They would have ran out of livestock. 600,000 people, you would have ran out of livestock. What is your livestock about to eat? Forget about the humans eating manna. You got livestock. You got cows. You got sheep.
I don't remember where they said they got the manna. Where did the manna come from?
Heaven.
Oh my God. Literally.
There's no, did you see, do y'all see this picture? Where's the grass for the cows to eat? The sheep. What are you feeding the cats? What are you feeding the cats and the dogs?
They was eating manna too.
The dogs would have turned into strays. And then because in Detroit they got a problem where dogs are actually going around eating homeless people. So that's would have happened. These dogs would have got pushed to the point where they would have started eating humans. It would have been a wrap. It would have been a wrap.
That was hilarious. What the hell? I didn't even think about that. What did the cat? What did they eat?
There's no grass. So the dogs would have started with eating the livestock first.
Oh my God.
So then after the livestock is gone, they would have started turning on humans. And what is the easiest thing to eat when you're a human? The baby, the children. Because the children are going to go out there and try to play with the dog. The dog hungry.
Yeah, and that's where they got that from.
Outrun the dog. It's a wrap. And then it's nighttime. It's over.
Give me that belly. Give me that baby. Get in my belly. That's where they got that from.
It would have been like that one movie. It's a movie, and they got these 2 lions, and it's based off a true story. At night, the lions would attack. It would have been that's the same concept with the dogs. The dogs would have came and started eating people at night. But he just followed. Look, if you on my YouTube, I killed the whole Exodus like three or four times. Not only did I kill it, Mo came and gave me the alley-oop, and we dunked that shit home, and we won the fucking ball game. Oh, we did Exodus, then we spent the block on the Exodus, and then we did another Exodus, and then I did the one recently was the one with the pharaohs. I'm breaking down which pharaoh was ruling during the time of Abraham, Moses, Noah, Japheth, and Joshua. And who was ruling Canaan at the time that these people were supposed to have been in Canaan, and who they was worshiping. That kills all of this fucking biblical shit. And then they can't even tie Abraham and Moses together because they from 2 different kingdoms. They from 2 different lineage, and the Bible tells you that. So I don't know where they get this shit from. It's like they just make up shit.
How did Abraham, who was supposedly a Hebrew, right, Israelite, how did he have a baby with Agar, right, who was supposed to be an Egyptian, right? How did you have an Arab? How did a Israelite and an Egyptian create an Arab? Because that's what they're saying. That makes no sense. Makes absolutely no sense. And Arabia is biblical geography, and they made that shit up. I mean, it's just pretty easy. I mean, we can entertain it, but there's too many discrepancies. These aren't just claims. I mean, you can just go look that right up. It's pretty. It's common knowledge. He was a Hebrew Israelite, like they say. They call him. He called himself Hebrews, Hebrew Israelite, which you can't be, but you're Israelite, right? Married Agar. Look who Agar was. Agar, they say, was Egyptian, right? How are you going to have a Arabian? That don't make no sense. The Arabians say they're the son of who? They're the children of Jacob, right? Right? Or children of Abraham. They're Abrahamic religions. But right there in that story, when they're talking about them having kids, Agar and Abraham, that's Galatians chapter 4, verse 22 through 28. And it tells you right there, and I think it's verse 26, that these are allegory stories. And then it goes on to say that Agar is actually Mount Sinai. In Arabia, it says, in Arabia. But Arabia, Mount Sinai is Africa. That's how they disconnected. And if you see, like today,
Mount Sinai right here, where you got the Temple of Hathor, it
there you
came
go.
in the 12th dynasty. So if Moses was on this, if he was on Mount Sinai, he would have saw this. And when I look up, because what's his name, Shawnee the kid, he asked me, because he said that the Mount Sinai is big, and was Moses actually in or around the temple? So he looked it up, and it said biblical scholars have come to the conclusion that when this man was getting the laws from his God, he was standing inside this temple. Wherever he was at is the same location where this temple is. So my question is, did he get the laws from God, or did he go inside this temple and see the laws on the wall and run with it?
Ooh. I want to see that literature you got back there. I can't see the whole thing. Let me see.
Oh, I don't know how to. Let me see if I can switch the.
When you switched it to the other journal, I couldn't barely see the writing.
This one?
Yeah, I can't see that barely. I'm gonna have to go into that. I'll go look that up. But I
just put Hathor's temple on top of Mount Sinai, and it's gonna pull up.
Hathor's temple on top of there. Okay, so there you go. There it is. He's gonna see that's right there in Egypt. He's gonna see the 42 laws of Ma'at, and they are the same thing, except for there's 32 more laws beside just 10. But hey, I appreciate you having me up here, son. I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, bro, you can when we about to close out and shit. Hello?
Yeah, man. I'll try to pop in a little bit earlier next time, man. I appreciate everybody, and I appreciate you having me alive. Peace to the gods and the goddesses.
All right.
Peace.
All right, y'all. We about to close out.
All right,
you got something, Mo? Go ahead, Mo.
Oh no, you already know how I feel about it. But that's what anybody that believe this stuff. If y'all got any teachers or anything with these new ideologies, y'all need to get us some type of book or some scholar that binds you to. If y'all want to have good bills, because like you just saw with Earth Speaks, we don't agree with him. We don't agree with what he's saying, with what he believes in 100%. But he has enough information to where we can go get it and see what he's talking about. and then we can challenge it from there. We can have a discussion, and then we can go our separate ways. Y'all come up here and y'all just say something and go, oh, well, that history is a lie. So you just take one piece that you want from it. You take Judah, and then you run and stick it on Utah, and then go, everything else is bullshit. That don't even make any sense. You gotta be able to hold to something. If we gotta stand on our information and give you the source, you gotta do the same thing.
And that's all I be saying to people when they get to you're an agent, you're this or that. I'm saying to the people, if we're decolonizing our minds to religion and we're having this conversation, we don't have to add new stuff that we're just bringing up today in order to disprove them, because a lot of that new information y'all have, it's not proven either. And the reason why you guys think I'm an agent is because I will do the same thing to you about your new thoughts that we're all doing to the Christians. We have to do it on all of our thought processes. So yeah, I concur with that.
All right, y'all. We out.